But hello everybody out there in the world. I'm sorry, we live now because we're about to get kicked off of Facebook. But no, you see, everything's like that. We were talking about that on the show Friday night. It was just like every time I turn around, it's just that we do a bid for a customer after Ida, and I'm scared to put materials on it. I'm like, well, look, we'll just do materials because it may take 30 to 90 days to get a bid off the ground. By then, it could have went up, could have went down, could not even have it anymore. I was told the other day that I was getting ready to order 300 gallons of paint, and they're like, "Ooh, you better do white." I'm like, "What do you mean I better do white?" He said, "We don't have no pigment for nothing else." And I'm like, "Come to bleep on!" It's all Michael's fault, by the way. He did it all. He pissed him longshore workers off out there in California. Now they don't want to do anything but write it. Oh,
That's
and
right.
everybody happy effing Halloween, by the way. It's weird out there, creepy weird. Somewhere there's a pumpkin behind me. You can't see him right now. I have to move around after a while, but he's back there hidden. There he is. He's back there hidden, smiling at all y'all like he wants some candy. Yes. And on the side of him, of course, is this came back from L.A. with me. It's a trusty little baby bottle of Crown. It flew back home with me.
I'm sure it's glad to be there.
I'm sure it is too. We're so we get into L.A. I meet a few people. We're there. I'm there Wednesday night. I get in Tuesday night. And I go down to the bar and I get a White Russian. And so the guy says, I hand him a 20. He gives me $1 back. And I'm like, really? I said, well, just keep it. I mean, what? I mean, what's in it? We're at the Roosevelt Hotel, which is a nice hotel. So, but I went to go get another one, and they were closed. I'm looking at my watch. It's midnight. I'm like, wait. I said, where can I get a drink in here? He said, you can't. It's midnight. I said, what do you mean I can't get a drink? He said, you can't get a drink in here. Period. He said, there's some late night bars on the street that stay open for two if you can get there before they close. And he said, and then which I wasn't even interested in that because I don't know my way around L.A. So I was like, and then then the weekend came. We figured Friday night. All right, 2 o'clock, no booze. Get out, forget it. They did. I got to give them credit. They had a couple of nice parties there. They had a salsa dance one night. They had a young. They had, actually, Z-Gen is doing what do you call it, big band dancing, and I was surprised to see them all up in there. They were having a good time. No booze, by the way, but I mean it was. But see,
You know,
we walked into the way they were having the thing at, and I was like, look. I said, it's 5 minutes till. He said, no, we had to close the bar. I'm like, get the out of here, man.
I'll give you my traveler's tip. If you're staying at a nice hotel and you want booze after their said time, they just charge it to your room. It's more about the money turning hand in the law rather than serving you a
Oh,
drink.
wait, my room had plenty of booze. That wasn't the issue.
No, they charge it to your room and
Yeah,
they can serve you the drink.
well,
That's how ridiculous it is.
it's oh no, I had a well stocked bar. That wasn't the issue, but it was just outrageous. The Maker's Mark.
Don't you
Uh,
have your flask? Come on, man. You're from New Orleans.
well,
Gotta have
no,
a
man.
little.
Come on, I'm going to LA. I think you should be able to get some booze in LA. I mean, it's the
Get
first time I
some
drank in
weed.
10
You
years.
probably had a
Oh,
ton
yeah,
of
you can
weed
do that.
there.
Oh, no, dude. Before we get into really Halloween stuff. So I'm sitting in the Academy room listening to one of the lectures. I look out, there's not one, but two weed vans parked out there selling weed. I was like, look at this shit. I mean, they just, man, you couldn't walk out the front door of this hotel without getting high. I was standing there with two judges.
Wow.
And they're like, "What the?" I said, "Man, I'm getting high just standing here." And there's three guys down from us just smoking one joint each. And I'm like, "Fuck!" I mean, I was getting high standing next to these guys. And then
I
the
bet.
weed van guys coming by asking, "You need some weed? You need?" I said, "I can't buy them, man. These people see me buy weed, it'd be bad." That was just cracking me up. Uh,
Altar boy.
and see, now I'm good like that. I quit that stuff. I'm angel like now. Well, wait, let me rephrase it. I'm angelic like now. Sarah, so it's legal where Sarah's at. She can go have a good old time.
It's not legal here. It's legal where I'm from in Washington State. Legal in Florida means you gotta jump through a bunch of bureaucratic hoops and have enough money to pay for the license to have it. They just made it easy to get the license if you got the money.
That figures.
Buggers.
Florida, well, I know Florida's going to go recreational sooner or later, so it's just a matter of time. As far as Louisiana's got medical, but in the beginning it
So
was only for people who were dying.
So is Disney gonna have this signature line of weed like Goofy and
They might,
Mickey
if
Mouse,
if it goes recreation, they probably will. Well, you know
Donald
what?
Duck?
Do they have any out in Cali? I mean, they've got what is it? Disneyland's out there by y'all. I mean, not by y'all, but out there in Cali and in Anaheim actually. First time one day I was stationed in San Diego, and it's like, let's go to Disneyland. I'm like, all right. He said, yeah, it's in San Diego. I said, yeah, it's way out in Anaheim County. Actually, it's way the hell out there. And I was so disappointed because, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this and you've never been to any of the Disney parks, go to Disneyland first, then Disney World. Because if you go to Disney World first and go to Disneyland, you're going to be sorely disappointed, which is what I was. And my friend's like, why you didn't last? I said, well, dude, I'm like, this is like a corner of Disney World. What the hell is this? He's like, well, this was the prototype. I said, dude, have you been to Disney World? I said, you need to go down there and see what Disney World is. It was insane. And see, like tonight, they're partying their asses down there for Disney World, you know. And no mask mandates, no mandates, no 6 feet. You know, God knows it, throwing candy off the floats and stuff. You know, I was thinking about the other day. It's been a long time since I've been to Disney World, but every holiday they put on a nice show, and I want to get to go stay in one of those private Disney suites. You know, the ones that were hidden somewhere that they found after Disney died. I want to stay in one of those, man. I wonder how you get into things. Sit there for Halloween, watch all because nobody knows it's there. I love them places. That's 4 of them, I think, in there, 5. They were Disney's private places in the beginning, so he could monitor Disney World without anybody knowing he was there. It was very slick, and they said there's probably 2 or 3 more that they haven't found yet. I don't know.
Probably.
So, nobody knocking on your door. See, they don't knock on my door for trick or treat. They're scared Martha will answer the door, so they stay far, far away from my house. Yeah, like, oh no, that guy answers the door with a gun. We don't want to go there. It's a bit no, really is. Everybody's houses here is like right now they're in a building spree, so we're probably 2 or 3 acres apart. In the beginning, when I first moved here, everybody was like 10 or 12 acres apart. They've been on a massive building spree. Before Katrina, there were probably 4 times as many homes here as there are now. They're fastly building back. I say, keep building, keep driving my value up on my property. That's right. Be good people. Keep driving my value up. I don't know. Mike's up there in New York. He's fixing to start freezing his ass off.
I'm leaving, man. You see what's happening in New York? Oh my God, they just want to destroy it.
Man.
They're hell bent on destroying it.
Well, they have been on destroying everything. It's all on where you live. I mean, I hear. If I listen to my liberal friends in Florida, what's his name? Santos is trying to destroy Florida. If I listen to my friends in Texas, what's his name's trying to destroy Texas. All my California friends on both sides think Newman's trying to destroy California. So I'm not even, and we're not even going to talk about the big pumpkin head that runs our country. I'd rather just stay away from him, especially on a night like tonight. But you know what? To my friends out there who do voodoo, maybe I should put some love on Joe Biden and on Kamala and on Nancy and whatever the 4th guy is. Maybe I should send them some voodoo love. Yeah, some voodoo love, like the song. I don't know. Hey, I'm just trying to get us out of this mess. And no, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Wait, hold on. I got to close this line. Chat it.
We got to talk about now the more and more sightings, man, of UFOs ever since that information. Well, whatever it was that came out, it wasn't really information. It was recycled information.
The number 2 at NASA got his ass in trouble talking about the Nimitz. Nimitz. How did he say it? The Nimitz landing plural. He said no. He said Nimitz and plural.
I think he said numbnuts.
Yeah, whatever. But he's talking about UFOs landing on the USS Nimitz, and that's pretty serious stuff, man. For somebody like that to come out and say it. But still, I'm all. We're talking about the other night. I'm going to live with Elon on Mars. I'm feeling, I'll feel way thinner there. You know, it's what 1/3 gravity, or no 1/6 gravity, 1/3. Man, I'll feel like I lost 80 pounds. Man, I'll be all bouncy and happy and stuff. Probably live another 50 years just because of that. But Elon said it's where he wants to die is on Mars. So will they be trick or treat on Mars? Will they be Halloween on Mars? Will they be Christmas on Mars?
It'll be Elon land.
That's what I'm asking. I'm wondering. You know, after that statement he made, like I said, I keep every time I hear him talk now, I flash back to that movie Moonraker where the evil guy's building his own paradise. I'm thinking, oh shit! And there's a few alien movies out there like that. I'm thinking, oh Elon, you're scaring me, man. You scared me when you start talking about Muskville and stuff. It scares me just a little bit. But I'd still go. I think
you guys can do that. I'll go hide in the woods like I'm doing, man. You know, stay away from mass crowds of people.
There's no woods.
There's no benefit being around large populations.
Well, if you get a dune buggy in Mars, you can live there. Won't be nobody around. You may go live out on a dune somewhere, up in a mountain somewhere.
Too limited, man. If it's plush and green, I'm there. I want some waterfalls and stuff like that. I'm not the kind of dusty type of guy, you know. I mean, like Las Vegas, yeah. Mars, no.
Las Vegas, yeah. Las Vegas ain't got a damn waterfalls. What you talking
No, but they
about,
got some
Willis?
good restaurants, man. I mean,
Well, yeah.
and you're
You
four
know good
hours to
restaurants and
LA, you're
bars?
4 hours to San Diego.
You
You know,
heard?
there's a lot of cool. I mean, you know what? There's a lot of cool areas in Northern California to explore.
I heard Ramsey
Northern
today.
Nevada. Nevada only has like 3 cities. There's like nobody there. Nobody
It is
wants to be there.
because the rest of it's desert. But
I'm telling you, it's
I
got some
heard
good
Ramsey
towns,
today
man.
saying he's going to Mars with Elon's going to be his personal chef.
You know the cost of living for a grand a month, you could have a 2 bedroom with balconies, walk-in closets, all that, with all the good stuff, man. With everything included, it's hard to find in a lot of
Yeah,
places,
because
man.
the electric bill's $5,000 a month. That's why. It's
Rent is crazy. Rent, you know what? Rent is crazy in places. It's crazy.
it is crazy in places. That's why I don't like living in the city. It's outrageously
They're
crazy.
doing that for a reason to keep people down. They want you to spend all your money so you don't have any for freedom.
Well,
And
if I was
even to
rich like
leave
Sarah, I
town.
could get away with that. But I'm a poor SOB. It's I
Well,
don't know.
Florida's the land of milk and honey, isn't it? That's what
Yeah,
everybody's saying.
No,
Florida is
no.
Florida's got some beautiful
you
places.
know
It
it's
really
funny.
does.
No, it's funny you say that because one of my customers down he built some property down in Blue Mountain Beach, which is on a panhandle, and Grayington, watercolor stuff like that, and beautiful property. So COVID like to kill him because he built these 7 or 8 condos, these high end condos, $3,000 to $5,000 a week to stay there. And I'm thinking, who the hell? How can he fill these things? And he does. Now that COVID's going, they're full. They're generating 60 grand a week, 70 grand a week. And then he calls me up. He says, "Man, why don't you come move down here?" I'm like, "What?" He said, "Joe, they cost $500 to put an inserted light into a ceiling." He said, "Y'all do it for like 60." I was like, "Now if we lived in Florida, we wouldn't be." He's like, "What?" I was like, "Man, that's just what it costs in Florida." I said, "You making all that buku money? You got to spread it around, spread it
I
around."
like St. Augustine, man. It's really cool.
Because it's haunted.
It's
The
Yeah,
chill,
it's
whole
my
man.
town is
favorite.
haunted.
It's the only reason I stay in this godforsaken hole.
West
That is
Coast, the West Coast has some nice, I mean, it depends where, I guess. Like from Sarasota, just outside of it. Like you got the horse farm, all that stuff, and it's on the water. That's cool. That's appealing to me. Snakes, no, and alligators, no,
alligator.
and
Alligators
expats
only
from New
bother you
York
if
and
you
New
bother
Jersey,
them.
no.
They only bother you if you bother them. That's all there is to it. You leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. They might want to eat one of your kids or
Tell
something.
that to the people that get eaten. They just mind their own
Only
business.
dumbasses get eaten. It's all only way I can say it. If you stupid enough to put your right place, and see down further in Florida, they actually got bigger grapes. They even got salty crocs down in Florida.
Humans are screwed up, man. You guys always brag about your crazy stuff where you're from, like, and I'm proud of it. Like, the crocodiles, because you reference crocodiles a lot. I was just talking to someone today from here from upstate. They're like proud of the bears where they're from.
Well, we got bears too.
A load
We
of
got
bears
panthers.
hanging around, and they're like, "Yep, we got a lot of
Yeah, we got
bears."
black bears, we got brown bears, we got panthers. Man, we got far more dangerous stuff like they call humans. Somebody asked me all the time, just a couple weeks ago, I was open carrying, somebody said to me something about their gun. I said, I'm not worried about the animals back here in the swamp. I said, that's not what I carry this gun for. I said, I carry it for the idiot who thinks he's going to play Deliverance. That's what I carry it for. I said,
Does that really happen there?
don't tell him what's going to
Because
happen.
I want to avoid it if it.
I'm just
It's
saying, when you're out
not
in the
on my
swamp by
tourism
yourself,
list.
anything
Might
can
get
happen.
raped.
Let's just say it like that. You don't want, especially if you're not from there, you might not want to be out in the swamp by yourself. That's all I'm saying. Hell, there are towns you don't want to go to in Mississippi and Louisiana if you don't know someone there, because they might disappear your ass. Same thing in Florida too.
Very true.
It's a strange
Land
place.
of the free.
It is a land of the free. Just stay the hell out of their town. You can pass through in the daytime, get a snack, and keep on driving. They're good with that. But don't start nosing around. Don't start looking. Don't even start looking like you can buy some property or something. You'll be found out. You'll be mulched somewhere.
You just have to assimilate, man. You got to get into like a pickup truck with like one of those
Yeah,
like
let's go
flags,
assimilate with these
some
people.
NASCAR stickers on
Right.
there. Those guys will be like, "Woohoo!"
So last year this time we're up in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, right around Halloween, and it was a BLM meeting. So as we were driving through, I said we're going to swing by and see if there's any good press there. So when I got there, and this is the truth, there was no black people. There was only what I would consider seriously redneck white people. So if I was a black man and I walked up and said, I would just turn around and go the other way. I wouldn't even bother, man. I'd be like, no, I think they're just waiting around to see if they can kill me after the meeting.
So what's a good ghost story, man?
Depends where you're at, man.
I want to hear some good ghost stories. Ooh.
That's my favorite ghost story. I don't know. We were talking. I was talking with Sean Kelly about this the other night because he wants to get together in Gettysburg. I said, well, we need to get together in Gettysburg and see what we can get into. I said, but we need to go down to St. Augustine. There's a couple of graveyards and Deep Swamp we need to get into. As a group, there's quite a lot. The problem is some of us are closer together and some of us are spread out more. Sean and him in Pittsburgh, it's still 12 about 20 hours from me, give or take an hour or two. Unless you're flying, then it's about 4 or 5. I gotta say though, going out to LA on nonstop flight was pleasurable. Got there in 3.5 hours. It was kind of nice. I thought about driving, then I thought about 3 days, and I said, "Screw this! We're taking the aeroplane."
Driving's fun though, man.
Oh, it is sometimes when you ain't got a bunch of work ahead of you.
I'm a foodie, so when you're on the road, you can find great little mom and pop places. So proud of what they do, and I'll tell you, man, all the flavors are there.
Well, I've driven out to LA twice, and no, sorry, 3 times I've driven out there. It's and I don't mind the drive. I mean, we stopped off. In one of the years we stopped off in Sedona, Arizona to hang out. I think we went on Interstate 40, and we stopped off up there. We found the back way in, which was weird. So when you come down the road, all of a sudden you find yourself doing this for about 45 minutes, just straight down, straight down. It's just a spiral down, and then when you hit the bottom, there's a mountain going up each side of you, and there's a creek just kind of running alongside. It's kind of pretty actually. And it was an interesting look. And then as you start to get into town, there's a hotel here, a little cottage here, and nice places to stay. I didn't find all of the energy spots to be quite what they said they were. One or two of them were interesting. Most of them were just tourist traps. And then we stopped somewhere. We're talking 15, 18 years ago. So we stopped in, and Jason was with us. So we got 4 hamburgers, 4 drinks, and 4 fries. That was it. Nothing else. It was $62. I was like, wow, what? Now, I would expect to see that like where I was staying at the Roosevelt, because the Roosevelt was for 1 hamburger, fries, onion rings, and a drink, just regular Coke were $26. So, steak and eggs was $35. It was good. Just it was ridiculously high, but it was good. But I find that all the time in Florida. I mean, there's places I go to Florida, I'll go to order something. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. How much is this? Or I love Florida's favorite thing is, so you're booking a room. Don't matter. If it's a resort, you're going to get screwed. So you're booking your suite at your resort, and it's like $299 a night. So you're, all right, not a bad deal. So it's 2 nights, $600. Right? Then all of a sudden you look down, and it's like $1,700. You're like, what the is going on? The resort fees are ridiculous.
Yep, resort fees.
Yep, $500 a night on resort fee plus it's
Yeah, they get you, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I say we find some local ghosts, and send them to freaking resorts. I don't know. There's got to be some way to stop them. I was thinking yesterday because a friend of mine was down in St. Augustine a couple of weeks ago, and he said for some reason he's been down there many times over the years, and he was begging me to go. I said, dude, I'm in LA. That's not going to happen. And he's like, well, dude. He said, usually I feel all kind of stuff moving around, and I get weird EVPs, or I catch them, mini specters going through on a land. But he said, I didn't get anything. He said the town just felt like somebody had come through and cleared it. I said, I don't know if anybody could clear Augustine. I mean, maybe it's one thing, and I don't know if they could clear the whole town. What's that one what's that corner store? I know Sarah knows what I'm talking about. There's some little store down there. Oh man, what the hell? I can't think of the damn name of it now. And we talked about it before too, and I just can't remember the damn name of it. This place is supposed to be haunted beyond belief down there. Actually, there's several places supposed to be haunted down there, and I know
a whole bunch of places that are hot.
And I know there's that one street that goes down to the waterfront, with the big tall walls on it. It's every time I go through there, I get some eerie, creepy ass feeling that something's walking or something's around. Or I never caught anything. I didn't catch any EVPs either, but still, I get the sense that something's there, or some. It actually feels more than someone. It feels like maybe a group of people. Maybe it's a group of soldiers. Maybe it's a group of people trying to escape the war. I don't know what the hell it was, but it's definitely a weird feeling. Being America's oldest city, no telling what's going through there.
Well, you got to figure and consider that city has been razed to the ground like 5 times. Not even kidding. And so everywhere you're stepping is potentially either where somebody breathed their last or is actually buried underneath your feet, because they didn't bury everybody in cemeteries. Some places, like the whole lot of Castillo San Marcos, is all
Yeah,
dead
where they
bodies.
dropped, huh?
Hmm.
They didn't bother to give them a proper burial because there were so many dead soldiers.
Yeah, I remember we were doing a Civil War graveyard, which I'd love to bring out. It's in Alabama, and we were just doing some work out there, seeing if we could catch anything on the cameras. And I got to talking about one of the people who worked there. He's like, no, he said everywhere you look, somebody died. He said, you got to remember, he said the north was coming this way, the south was coming this way, and they just all met up in the middle of the swamp, and everybody was shooting in every direction. He said, if the swamp didn't kill him, where'd I go? Something else killed him. He said, so, it was a horrible place. And then there's right in there, they had the little town built back there, and they had the oak trees where they used to hang people, so it was haunted as shit right there.
Oh yeah.
They had the jail had burned down 4 times that they told me, so it's the same thing. I mean, everywhere you walk, and there's something. And it was so weird because I was filming, and they had these 4 deers come out to the side of the woods. So I'm filming, they're all calm and peaceful, and I'm watching, and my car's quiet, nothing's going on. Something spooked the hell out of them. And right when it spooked it, my camera got my phone got like in the old days when you get like something going across an antenna TV, it kind of jiggled like that. And then it stopped, and then they jumped, and they jumped to take off, and then they stopped and started walking around. But something startled them. And I didn't see anything back there. I didn't hear anything either, for that matter. There wasn't any like cracking the limbs or stuff like that. So they sent something back there. But it's a spooky place. St. Augustine's spooky. I like to go walk around there early in the morning, but sometimes they frown on that shit down there. So I've been down there walking around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Never had anybody tell me anything. And I've been down there walking around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you should be back at your hotel. It's not safe to walk around here. I said, you got to be kidding me, right? I
Not
was like,
like it's New Orleans.
no, I said, that's what I told the guy. I said, you know where I'm from, right? He's like, well, I'm from New Orleans, man. I said, this is pretty safe to me. He started laughing. The other cop, he's
Mhm.
like, yeah. He said, just be careful. He said, people get scared. They might want to call the cops and take a shot at you or something. I said, well, because Florida's, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to Florida, it's not open carry down there. It's only closed concealed carry, and you have to have a permit, or you can get a special dispensation if you have a permit in another state, or if you're like me, you have security background. But other than that, you can't just walk around Florida with your gun. Just thought I'd
However,
warn you.
in Florida, all I need is to feel frightened, and I can kill you.
That's true. That's damn true too.
Is
She can't.
that
That's it. She can have it in the car and just shoot your ass because you scared her. And
because you're in my face, you're in my business. Out,
Florida does believe in protecting its citizens.
just like
That's why there's
Texas.
so many damn ghosts. There. That's why there's so many ghosts in Florida. Texas don't care. They let everybody carry a gun in Texas. Everybody, it's weird because from Alabama all the way across to Texas, I can open carry any of the states without any problem, and I can conceal carry without any problem. So I was kind of like, it's definitely a little bit different feel when you walk around with your gun on your side, and it does give you after Katrina, I carried my gun a lot because there was so many crazy shit going on down here, and it was just a lot of spooky weirdness. Like the gun wasn't going to really help me with that, but it made me feel better because it was weird. Like if you were moving around the suburbs of the city at night, because there was nobody there, there's only a handful of us around. You'd see like a shadow move through, or you'd see what looked to be human, but maybe not quite the way the shadow appeared. It was strange stuff. It's not like the gun would have helped against anything, but it did make me feel better. But I really carried it more because a couple of times I walked in homes where they had the dog picked up, dog been there for like 4 weeks with no food.
Mm.
It's about ready, it's skinny as hell, about ready to eat me. And like, no, 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 I don't have to shoot the dog. In every case, I got lucky and had food in the truck of some kind. So I'm feeding the dog, walking him out to my truck. It was strange, but there was a lot of weird stuff. That a friend of mine came down from Canada, Canuck. So we're going up to the city. Nobody's been in the city, so finally I grab a friend of mine's boat, and so we shortcut through the city. So yeah, people, we're in a boat going to this house. So we finally get to where we're going. It's dry there, so we had to park the boat and walk a couple of blocks. And I said, stop and tell me what you hear, Mike. I said, just stop. I said, now remember, you can see the city right there. And this is all the suburbs. And we said, just stop. You could have heard a pin drop for a mile. It was so quiet. It was so quiet that it became eerie to listen to it. It was almost, you could hear like something talking in the background. You didn't really sense anything. It just really felt like a dead city. like it's I don't know how many times New Orleans is up and down like that over the years, with 3 major fires, several major hurricanes. So it's been wiped out a few times, but that was just creepy. And I remember Mike still telling me, he said, "Man, this makes me want to go home." I said, "Well, you'll be back in Metairie in a few minutes with the people, so just calm down." And we got back, and that was another thing. And so, if y'all want to go, just ghost hunting. So after Katrina, people would go through the area with boats, and if they found a body, they had one stop sign on each for every couple of blocks, and that's where they would tie the bodies. The bodies were floating at this point, so they would just tie them up to there until somebody could retrieve them. So you'd be coming through that. Sometimes you'd see 7, 8, 9 bodies tied to a stop sign. It looks like something out of a zombie movie. They're all white and bloated as you're going by. It didn't matter what color they were originally. Everybody was white and bloated at this point, and it was just freaky to even see. There's no way that area is not haunted. I mean, that's a shit way to go to start off with. Drowning in your own attic can't be any kind of fun, you know. So I don't know. There's a lot of that going on. You know, seeing a lot of that kind of stuff around the city. Um, a lot of people. I think it was 3 or 4 thousand people died. Um, so you know they haunted because they didn't go peacefully. Anybody who went in that storm didn't go peacefully. You know, there was probably some kind of horrific death, or like the guy who got shot on the bridge. You know, oh wait, oh there's the cops. Let me wave at the cops. Oh, they just shot me. Well, you know what the hell.
But all the COVID bodies sitting there in those trucks in the city, man, in refrigerators, man, just sitting there and sitting there, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're in Wuhan, I bet you there might be some haunting going on.
Or what about when people were talking about? I caught a conversation the other day where people were talking about the workers from the Harrah's casino possibly haunting now that they've recovered the bodies after how long? Because they were up there
Oh yeah, they were there for a
becoming
long time.
skeletal month by month. Poor
They
families, man.
so it tells you how shitty the mayor of the city was. So Mardi Gras is coming. You know, we had a Mardi Gras off, so Mardi Gras is coming. So what did they do? They can't get them out, but because it's too dangerous to send someone up there. Their words, not mine. So then they sent someone up there to cover the legs so the people down couldn't see them. You know, at this point they were just kind of legs with hunks of meat hanging off, and
Yeah.
you know, it was just disgusting. And here's these families a year and what almost a half. It's not just that. I mean, eventually I'll get it settled from them because of that collapse. We had to give up our FM side because we couldn't get back in the Singer Theater because we were scared it was going to fall on a freaking theater.
Yeah.
And that was 18 months, and finally they just finally let us in. I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. After it's all been tore down and cleared, but it doesn't do anything. All the people who there all lost all of that. So, you know, it's just one of those things you got to deal with. But it's a bitch to even see it. So, you know, that area, even though they've leveled it to the ground, something's haunting. Somebody, there's 2 of them in there, one on one side, one on the other side. That's a horrible way to go, being smashed to death. It's like stepping on an ant, you know, and somebody just squished you to death. It's a crazy thing. When did you grow a tail?
I know.
Oh, a tail. Oh, wait, your tail separated from you, went the other way. Okay, that was freaky.
Gabriella.
I was like, whoa. Talking about ghosties, separation of tail here.
Well, I've got a bunch of haunted items actually with me in case we ever get to that today. But
Oh, yeah, we got plenty of time.
all you can see is one of my acquisitions as well.
You know, you and these people, you're not the only one I know that collect these things. Always weirds me
Were
out.
given to me, a lot of them.
And I would have gave them back. Wait, what you want me to do? No, keep this damn. What you want me to do with this thing? I don't want nothing. As it is, I try to keep anything out of my house all the time because some of the places we go, you gotta just be worried if you're bringing something back with you.
Yeah.
The last cemetery we picked up at EPP, it says, "Be quiet or get out." You know, it says it several times too. Be quiet or get out. So next time we went back, we were quiet, and it was so funny because he picked it up. He said, "Oh, you'll actually listen. Thank you for being quiet."
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, okay." So I go.
Librarian cemetery.
Yeah. I don't know. But when they asked, "Do you know where you are?" 3 of the EVP said yes. 3 of them said something about being at home. It was just kind of, and I'm not a big fan of EVPs to start off with. I go back and forth on them things all the time because I don't know if it's somebody's radio picking up some shit somewhere, you know, and they're just picking and choosing the sound that they want.
No, I have real EVPs, man. These voices that were on a plain old recorder, not one of those ITC devices.
They Well, see, it's different when you get them like that, or when you're in the middle of investigation and your friend picks them up. But so that's like somebody the other day was telling me about one of their haunted dolls. So I'm thinking with Sarah Lisa, I'm thinking, what do you see? I'm still calling you Sarah Lee, damn.
It's all right.
It's so it's like when the guy came on with all the haunted dolls behind him, and one doll would move, like his head would move this way, another doll's head. I'm thinking I would have a bonfire. That's what I'm thinking. I get rid of all these damn things because they're going to burn and burn and burn. Oh, I don't know. Because Michelle likes to collect haunted shit. I think everything in her house is haunted. It's just how do you deal with that? Or why do you want to deal with it? So does it bother you, Sarah, when you're hanging out with haunted stuff? Does it like, hey, Sarah, it's time to get up, bitch. What the hell's wrong with you?
Actually, it's I haven't. My anxiety has been kicking me like really badly in the last 6 months, and a lot of people are like, well, maybe it's some of your haunted items making it bad for you. Well, there's a story that happened just 2 days ago. I was actually sitting playing some Call of Duty, just kind of relaxing, whatever. And all of a sudden, I've got my headphones on, and there's nobody in the house in my area whatsoever. And I've got these Dolly lithographs on the wall. And all of a sudden, it sounds like somebody, like a man, put his hand and slapped it against the lithograph. Like it sounded like right next to my head. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'm looking around going, did the maintenance guy come in here or something like that? Because they have a nasty habit of not letting me know they're coming. They just walk through my elevator or something. And it's like, and then I just sat there and was quiet for a second to see, because sometimes I can hear audible voices. And it's like, nope, there wasn't anything. And I went back to playing again. And then all of a sudden, my puppy gets up and she sits up and she starts staring right at the chair across the room, and she doesn't even move. She's just staring blankly, like right in the corner of the chair. And I'm like, the cat's not here. They're all in the bedroom. So it was really bizarre that happened. But a lot of stuff, and I know that because Halloween is today, it could be because all of a sudden we're going to have kind of a convergence of spirit being a little bit more powerful than normal. But I think it's a culmination of a lot of things lately. uh, the socioeconomic everything, and everybody being all freaked out about even just what's going to happen in the general area. I mean, even the people in the complex that I live in can add to that. um, Even if it's supernatural or not, it's like, well, did that come from a human and some kind of telekinetic energy burst of some kind, or was that one of the spirits acting out? Because I get stray spirits every once in a while that don't even belong here, that they came from somebody else's apartment. So it's hard to tell. But lately, I don't know about you guys, but I've been noticing a lot of louder, more bold action.
Now, I've seen that, and it's weird because a lot of people I know are anxious right now because of several different reasons, from anywhere from money to ghosties to presidents or whatever it may be, but just simply the COVID is enough for a lot of people. So I think sometimes those things draw energy from the people being anxious, because it seems like, hey Josh, it seems like it does it because it does seem. I notice in houses where people are being anxious. I know they can manifest poltergeist because of me just being nervous or jumpy, but I think too in some places, whatever might be staying there may be able to use that energy. Because I mean, you're giving it off. You're not really using it. I mean, you're anxious, so it's just kind of flowing off your body. So it'd probably be pretty easy for them to pick it up. It's kind of strange that they. I didn't really think of it like that, but I guess they really could. And I
Mhm.
guess with all this extra stress that people are going through for, COVID was enough, and then all this political stress that's on top of it.
And now
Yeah,
it's financial.
it just seems to be a lot, and then everybody's just manifesting stuff out of their own. I don't mean, ladies and gentlemen, that you're manifesting a child, but I think you're allowing that energy to be used, and I don't even know if allowance the right way to say it, because I think it's just streaming off of them. It's like when your fan's pulling air from outside or something. It's just streaming it, and whatever's around it's picking up. Because I have heard, lately in New Orleans, we've been seeing a lot more sightings. It's been kind of quiet in the city since Katrina. It's kind of quieted down because the whole place got inundated in salt water, so it may have ran a lot of spirits out. But the last 19 months or so, we've been hearing more and more activity, and we're starting to hear about more of them being bold, like walking down the streets, being seen in between the buildings in the quarter, or being seen in public, like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, when they know the quarter's still fairly busy. These aren't. It's not like they're on back streets; they're actually on streets where people can see it. I know one lady just, matter of fact, a couple were walking through Pirates Alley, and she said, "Oh, she walked up to this couple because they were dressed in period, like probably late 1700s, in a big ball gown dress, big belly dress, the whole 9 yards." So she walked up to tell them how great their dressing and how great their costume looked like. And she said, I walked up to them. She said they acknowledged me, but they didn't pay any attention to me, which I thought was rude. And they just kept on walking. And she said, I went to reach out. I was going to touch her hand and pull back, and my hand went right through it. She said they didn't look translucent though. She said they looked just like we did. She said I wouldn't have known if I wouldn't have reached out for her hand. Which just after that freaked them both out. They didn't know what to think about it, and it just played out. She said they just walked on down the alley and made a turn, and they were gone. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say what the hell that was. Hello, Michelle.
Hey guys, how are you?
It gets creepy. See, this is another one that likes collecting crazy shit in her house.
Hey,
I was just getting on Sarah's ass because she likes keeping Odin and shit in her house. Y'all
for
freak.
sure, for sure.
I gotta find all the.
Why
freaks.
not?
It's and that's funny too because yesterday I was talking to a good friend of mine. He's like, his wife likes to collect haunted anything that's haunted. So she got a lot of dolls. She got a lot of all kind of weird shit. Little pieces off of haunted ship. She got a piece from the Titanic, which I have no idea how she got it. Not even going to ask because I'm sure it wasn't legal.
What, Titanic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a piece off a deck chair. I bought it because a friend of mine owns a lot of pieces from Titanic, and it goes on exhibit.
Yeah, so I do know pieces get sold from time to time, but she said every time I touch it, actually said it's not even touch it, she said I just grab it, and every time I grab it, she said I feel like I'm there. It's like I'm viewing through another woman's eyes, like it's playing out in front of me. And she said anytime my husband grabs me, he says the same thing. It's like they're a couple standing on a deck watching this play out. Apparently, a highfalutin couple, because all the poor people got stuck below deck, so. Anybody who was on deck actually probably had some money. It was but she always says the same thing. She says it's creepy, it's weird, and they're hollering for us to get in a lifeboat, get in a lifeboat, get in a lifeboat. And the whole time she said it was just like being in a daze. She said, I hope we didn't keep them people from getting in the lifeboat like if she was time traveling or something. Oh yeah, she asked, she said, what do you think it is? I said, I have no idea what the hell that is. I said, I don't know if that's a ghost in the present or if you're zipping back in time looking at something. I said, I have no idea. I said, it could be a loop to memory. I said, it could be any damn thing. I said, I'm not the expert on this shit. You need to go ask some of the other people in the network. I said, it's just not what I do. But it sounds creepy as hell.
It's bleed through.
It could be bleed through.
That's my answer for everything these days.
Yeah, you like my answer. Get off my answer, man. That answer has pissed off so many fellow researchers in the field that I will never let it go. It's just worth gold nowadays. It's just totally.
No, I give you credit. I say it's Joe Montaldo says it all the time.
Damn right.
Yeah, same.
That's right, hippie skippies. Don't give me no flag. Well, that's because some of it is mentioned through. Some of it, for sure is. But the rest of it, it's always going to be argued about what is. I listened to a good argument just a little while ago about what is a ghost and what is not a ghost. And after 20 minutes, I said I was going to bring it in so we could all hear, but after 20 minutes, it just gave me a headache. And I said, "These idiots are dumb. And some of the idiots I already know." I was like, no, because what is it? I mean, it's a ghost. Okay, so it's a dead person. For some reason, I died, and I'm not going wherever I'm supposed to be going. I'm just hanging out. I'm going to irritate Sarah. Sarah's all comfortable. She's relaxed. And I said, "She said, what was that?" And she goes back to being comfortable. Then I grabbed the cat's tail or some shit. I mean, what? That's just a hateful ghost. Why would a ghost even want to do that?
Because they're stuck. Those are earthbound who are stuck, and they don't have freedom of choice.
Yeah.
It's not like they even. I mean, they probably don't even know what the hell's going on. A lot of them are confused and screwed up.
They So what? So let me ask you this: what do you think is the most haunted thing you have in your collection?
Me?
Yeah, you named Sarah last I checked. It ain't Frank
There's
or
a
Bob.
few things. It just depends. Some things are like some of y'all who actually also have haunted items. That sometimes it's their mood. Sometimes they're quiet, and
Wait,
sometimes
Go back. What the hell's a mood? Wait a minute. So wait, weird objects can have moods.
yeah.
See, that's why I don't collect weird. That's right there. I got to deal with enough moody people. I don't need haunted things having moods around me. Holy shit! I'd be like that too if we're having a bonfire.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've got a doll that I've got to keep away from other dolls because she doesn't like it when you put other dolls next to her just to show off the dolls. She's got to be by herself in her chair. Otherwise, it's a big deal. And it's
Like
like,
a little diva doll.
yeah, it's like
See,
I'm
Diva
hurt,
Doll would meet Martha, and we should do target practice. That's what we're going with Diva Doll.
But
And,
just to keep the peace, I put her up on top of the armoire, and she stays up there. So it's all right. You know, I've got other stuff around here. I mean, like I've got a pair of gloves that you'd never think in a million years would ever be trouble, but they are.
Wait,
And
I don't even want to ask what these gloves are due. Nope, I'm not even going to ask.
What's the
Something-
backstory on them? I'll ask.
Oh, I knew she was going to ask. Damn it.
Yeah, for sure.
I got them from somebody who got them from someone who estated Marie Laveau.
Mm.
Oh,
It's the way is
you better leave Diana alone. She's a cranky old bitch.
yeah, but I've physically only touched these once. They don't, for some reason, like it when I mess with them too much.
I bet you they don't. They said you the wrong skin color to be touching him, white girl. They'd be like, back up and your ass off of me.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Some things are all right, and some things are like if I let them be and they can put them back in a relic drawer with some of the other relics and they're fine. But I don't mix the relics either because this relic knows that relic and they're cool to be together. But if I move them to another section with a different relic, they're like, oh my god.
Well, I understand that because Michelle had to move Glad because Glad kept staring at me. I was like, look, Glad, you ain't sucking on my neck, buddy. And I said, stop staring at me. She had this picture. I swear, every time I looked at this picture, her eyes would move. And I was like, what is with this creepy ass picture she got back there? And it wasn't even that horrible looking of a picture. He just, I think he thought I was sexy and he knew it. So he had to back his ass off there.
Yeah, that whole Bayou Fabio thing going on.
I'm just saying, I don't want. It's bad enough I got to live down here in the town of vampires to start off with, I mean, Lord have mercy. Especially when Anne Rice started that shit about, sometimes they just grab somebody and suck their blood so they can get high or drunk or loaded. I'm like, what? I'm never going to court again now. What the hell's going on with this? And they swear it's true, and then one of the vampire cults down here swears by it too. I said, let me tell you something, dude. I was at the vampire party. I said, let me tell you something. I said, if you ever try to grab me and bite me in the neck, I said, you're not going to like what comes next.
Well, don't roll in the quarter loaded and you'd be cool.
That's impossible now. You just walking through the quarter, you get loaded. I mean, I think there's booze in the air down there.
Contact high.
Yeah, you get contact high from liquor. But no, I mean, once you started that, it's definitely Anne Rice who started it. It became a thing. Now there's three vampire cults in the city. They all drink blood, by the way. Technically, it's illegal. I don't exactly know how to get it. I think they're just donating each other's blood so they can do it that way. But it's definitely illegal down here. And it's like the necromancers. They got in trouble too for having one of them somebody. So one of the necromancers died and donated a body to the necromancers. So they brought them to this big building they had on Magazine Street, and they put him in and had cold storage. And anyway, close your ears, children. This is not for children. They used to have sex with the corpse. And I was like, what the hell? It's just like, what is going on here? For different spells, or they take a piece of the body. But anyway, long story short, it is illegal to have a dead body in your house in the city of New Orleans.
But it's not illegal to have sex with one.
Wait, say it again?
It's not illegal to have sex with a corpse, but however, it's illegal to have a corpse just to have one.
You're very right too, because I know somebody caught a coroner having sex with his wife, and they tried to put him in jail over it. And they said we couldn't because you couldn't say it was rape because the person was dead. There was no actual crime had been committed. I was like,
that's just messed
of course
up.
he got fired, but he didn't go to jail. But yeah, it is true. But yeah, you can't have one in your house. They frown on that. And but now, if you're a certain type of professor, you can have a lab where you can work on cadavers. So I'm not exactly sure how this all works out.
So you're going to shut down the magic community, but it's okay for Dr. Frankenstein to have a corpse.
You're right. You can play down there. And do it. If you don't want to do it in front of your class at LSU or Tulane, which are two of the best medical schools, Why you need to have them in your basement? No, see them right there. So that's just wrong all the way around. It's you should have if no dead bodies in anybody's homes. Hey, Floaty, how you doing? It's I don't know. I just think no dead bodies, but yeah, they had this body for a while from way the police described it, and I still remember the girl because they're all dressed up in goth, and I still remember the girl. So she said, "That's okay, we got spares," and she said, "We'll be moving now, and we got spares," and I was like, "Okay, well that's okay," and they moved. They stayed in the city, but they moved. They got into it with one of the covenants in the city because there was three covenants and the three vampire things, and then there were the necromancers. And for some reason, they got into it with one of the local covenants. I was like, "Ooh, I wonder how this is going to come out." And they got nasty for a while. He made a TV once or twice, and then it got quiet. I don't know what happened. I don't know who somebody did something to somebody, but it got quiet. Oh, that's what happened. Anne Rice's ball came up, and everybody wanted to be at the ball, so everybody had to behave themselves because a lot of these groups get automatic invites to the Anne Rice ball, which is a great ball, by the way. It's a lot of fun to go to. Everybody's dressed up.
Who makes the money from all this, man? Like someone's got to be cashing in on these guys.
Not
Follow
really.
the money.
Mm-mm.
You don't really find that many. A lot of them are just. A lot of them started out as youngins. They got swept up in it, and then as they got into the 30s and 40s, they became the masters and not the teachers anymore. It just seems to grow, but it's never that huge of a group. Each group can be anywhere from 10 to 20, 25. Usually the covenants are 12, maybe 13, but you don't really see many bigger than that. But the vampire groups, they can be the biggest one down here has got 50 people in it, and they think they're vampires, dude. They really do. They don't go
I
out in the
think I'm a
sun.
pirate. That's fine. You be whatever you want to be. It's
Oh, we
America.
were doing an interview with one. We were doing an interview with one when his girlfriend just came up and beat him in the neck, squirted blood all over the damn camera. And I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" And then I'm
It's
thinking, God,
unsanitary, man.
well, I was thinking if this goes on TV, they're going to jail. I was like, "What the hell?" And you just see so much weird stuff down there. I like the other things, like when you're walking through the quarter and you feel something like brush across your shoulder, or something starts fiddling with your hair while you're walking through, and you're kind of like, "What?" And then you feel it's like a real soft touch. It's not violent or anything like that. I've experienced that myself down there a few times. I know a few other people
It's
have.
called the Joe
Uh,
Biden.
no, it better not be no Joe Biden because Joe
Joe
Biden could do
Biden
this.
touch.
That's freak
The
out.
little whisper. What are you
No,
wearing under
it's weird.
those
Actually,
pants?
the local prostitutes think it's the prostitutes from the past coming by trying to get your attention. Because Decatur, especially for 100 years, was just nothing but prostitutes. I mean, we were kids driving down there, and they would be climbing in the windows, boobs hanging out, ass in the air. It was just insane.
Now they're all
Uh,
politicians.
but as they probably are all
The boobs hanging
at
out.
least the madams are. They probably had the money to become politicians. Well, you know what? One of the most famous madams in New Orleans was a politician for 20 years, and I wouldn't doubt some other ones went that way too. There's a lot of money in it, but it was weird. I mean, you get these weird things, and then sometimes I still remember that we were fighting about where we were parking the car. There was three different cars, and we didn't want to get too far apart because we'd be loaded when we came back. So we wanted to park the cars, and we got a big argument about the cars. All of a sudden, you hear something, and it sounded like somebody just screamed, "Shut up!" with a megaphone. And everybody's looking at this. Nobody out there but us. I mean, we were parked on a square, and there's nobody there but us. Right across from the police station. We're like, okay. And we thought it was a cop, and there was nobody to be seen anywhere. So everybody just quieted down at that, parked the cars, and went on about their ways. And when we came back, the two front cars, the windshield wipers were bent this way.
Hmm.
And you could tell they weren't forcible bent because the paint didn't crack. So something got it warm enough that both of them had a nice round arch to them because no way you would have been in the back without breaking them. I was like, what the?
Wow.
Somebody would have had to, and then the paint wasn't damaged at all. I was like, what the hell is this? And then one of the friends I call him a Ghostbuster. He's like, Joe, he said, I can only be a spirit. There ain't nothing else could have done that. He said, even if you had a torch, you could have done it. Would have blistered the paint. He said, there's no way you're bending it perfectly like that. Each one's bent the same way. He said, that just doesn't happen in nature. And there was no bad weather or anything either. The ones in my car was fine. I wasn't the one arguing. I was sitting in my car while they were arguing. I got lucky, I guess. Whatever it was, whatever they did, they pissed something off. I don't know what they pissed off. Something that stays there, something that hangs around there. And then sometimes the artists down there will tell me that when they're painting certain things, something will come by and say, give them advice, or say it's ugly, or every now and then a
So it's a
breeze out of
critic.
somewhere will knock it down off the thing. I don't know
So
what
the
it is.
critics, yeah, that's right, Michael.
It could be anything.
Ghostly critics.
So many people were killed in that city for so many different reasons. It could be anything. Women
He was
murdered,
probably
women were
killed because
raped,
he was a critic.
maybe so. Men were
Criticized
shot just
someone,
to see
someone
people.
chopped his head off, kicked it down the street like a soccer ball.
What do you mean, Darryl? What's my favorite? I don't have no haunted objects in my house. What the hell are you talking about? No, that's Michelle and Sarah. You need to ask them what their favorite most haunted is, not me. No, I don't want nothing haunted in my house. Look, my dog acts like it's haunted. It's going outside and living in the yard. Yeah, I got one that sounds like a rooster anyway now.
Objects don't necessarily have to be haunted. I mean, things, they can come and go. I mean, there are developed entities that certainly can travel around.
Now, I do have a demon living with me, and later on I'll get her and let y'all see her. But if I can hold her down long enough to get her in here. But other than that, no, you see, I guess that's a difference because anytime we get a house, first thing Linda does is clear the house. Anytime, whether it's an apartment or a house, and you'll notice if you walk in a house, if you ever come down and see us, over each door there's a set of tarot cards hanging, 3 cards on each door, and it's always all of our houses are like that. But still, even down in, I get the sense that there might be something in this house. Sometimes it feels like there is, and sometimes it doesn't. And I know whatever it is kind of stuck if it is in here because I mean, there's a saltwater bayou behind me. There's at least an inch depth of salt all the way around the entire house. So there is concrete underneath you can be on, and there is the house itself. But so it's kind of like a island in the oasis for a demon. And we do get a lot of windy storms, a lot of things that could push things in. But with all the protection on the house, I would think it wouldn't want to stay here that long. And then it's got to deal with ET. ET doesn't like sharing the house, by the way. Get out of here, demons. So,
It depends
oh,
on how much of this world they're in and how much that world they're in, as to whatever other world they're in, as to what can affect them, right? I mean, if these are physical things, burning sage and things like that are present in this world,
yeah.
doesn't mean it has much of an effect in another world.
Well, that's a good thing. Because Marsha Stanford from Boston wrote to me yesterday and said she wanted to know if aliens could be ghosties. I mean, like, could you see a ghost alien?
Aliens die.
I guess if one died, I guess you could. I have no idea what their belief systems are
Don't
when
they
it comes to
recycle their essence much
yeah,
like
I
we
was thinking
do?
they do. Usually they
But people do too, right? I mean, don't we all believe in reincarnation?
Yeah, but that's not reincarnation for them. That's just they're just
No,
getting
they
a new
just
body.
recycle into another
Yeah, they
body,
go their
right?
conscious to a new
Depends
body,
on
which
what.
is
Just a
what we're
different
So
terminology,
that's
I would
another
think.
question. So we're going to be doing that within 100 years. We'll be able to upload our consciousness into a body. So are we the same person? Are we some like
Why
half
would
human
you want
ghost?
to?
What do you mean?
I
I'm
mean,
living 10,000
I
years
mean, being, I don't know, a
just to
physical
make
body,
like
at
people
least you
like
know
y'all
there's
seem
an end if
crazy.
you want there to be an end. But if, let's say, like, they're recycling people into this AI, this is a big thing. Fudge, you're around forever after that. Who the heck wants to do that necessarily?
But
You
it's
know?
not you. It's not your consciousness. You know.
See, see now look, the damn doll behind Sarah moved. Look, you got to move over, so I can't be looking at that doll. Look, then she moves the other way
I
so the
don't
dog can
like
see me
haunted
looking
dolls,
up.
just saying they're like little people. Just
In a
tiny little
hundred
people that
I
years,
move.
hate them Raggedy Ann and Andy things too, man. I can't stand them things.
oh,
Man, look, every one of them's haunted. I don't care what anybody says. It's either haunted or possessed by demons. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them things. I think whoever invented them was a demon. Said, yeah, I don't know. Because everybody's gonna have no, like my mom, my sister always
maybe
had to
they
have their
died
own
and they
power
ran
too.
into the nearest thing that they could find is kind of take that shape. You know what I mean? You
But a
really don't
doll would
know.
make sense, right? Because it's a humanoid,
Yeah.
sort of.
Or
I
people
remember,
that
I
attach
remember
themselves
my
to
mom got rid of my
items. I
sisters
mean,
because I made it flick the bird.
I know a medium that says that there could be several attachments to one spirit. So I
Hmm.
mean, they can be all different places at once.
Where's your demon?
But it depends on, I guess, the level of evolvement.
Mm.
Well,
But I don't know much about it or anything really. So, like, nobody really does. You know what I mean? Like, it's all what we do is we're guessing or going by the information that we have that from investigations and things like that. So there's that.
should.
Mm.
That's weird. When I was thinking about Sarah's gloves and how many weird things like brooches and things that can be haunted. I guess at that moment the energy gets forced through there or pushed into there or locked into there. I've always wondered how that worked, because I guess I could see on something that really happened. I mean, something that was immense, that took a lot of energy, or was just so horrible or so good that it just, as it forced the energy out, it went through whatever was there. Uh, but still, it's still got to be weird.
It's always a feeling, man. It's not even like the things that you see or hear. It's that feeling. And when you're there doing it, and you're communicating back and forth, you know that you're connecting. It's a whole. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about.
It's like Floaty says, are we not all just energy going through phases, alien or human? Yeah, I agree.
A lot of people do believe we're just pure energy, or it exists.
Well,
Well, what makes humans is electrical. So, how
But
much
is
they-
reality real? And then what's real?
It's if you can touch it, taste it, and smell it, it's real.
Like a hot dog.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a real. I mean, I'm sure if you wanted to go into the matrix theories, you could figure out a way to have everything look real but not be real. But in this reality, it's probably everything is real.
But it comes down to senses, doesn't it? And what you sense is to you what's real. You know?
Yeah, how many realities does one person have?
Well, yeah, but
Could be
what
lost.
happens? What happens if what's in, let's say, Michelle's reality is not in my reality, but it exists only in her reality, and she perceives of it. But every time I'm around that specific thing, I never get anything because it's only in her reality.
But it's happening now.
Right? That's right.
That should just get complicated for no reason, man. Give you a damn headache. Even thinking
It's the
about
old
it.
saying, you make me real.
Michelle's living in her own little box.
Well, it's true though, because let's be honest, most humans live in their perceived reality for the most part. I mean, there are some shared realities, but for the most part, most humans live in their reality, whatever they think is this, that, or the other thing. It's strange, but it is true. When I was out in LA for this week, you could see this with all these people who won. I mean, they were in their own realities. I mean, they were definitely in their own realities, living life and whatever it is that made them get to where they were getting to. But it was strange listening to them talk, how they got there, and how many of them were not actually that young is what surprised me. Most of them were like mid-30s or higher. So, but still, they did perceive themselves through their own reality. So when I would ask them a question, because I was trying to teach them how to deal with the press, when I'd ask them a question, that's how they perceive themselves through their own realities. It's a weird thing. See, because when I perceive myself, I perceive myself through multiple realities because I'm connected to so many people.
Well, yeah. And you realize that you will never, ever in a million years meet the one reality where you are the person that you think that you are.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly true.
You're a different person to every person that you actually know.
That's very true too. And
You're not the person you consciously believe that you are. So which one is the reality?
that is true. Which one is the reality? Which one is the real reality? And that's the other problem when you have multiple dimensions and multiple realities and multiple individuals. You don't even know which one is the real individual, or are they all the same and they all just plop back together somewhere in the future, or somewhere in time, or space, or somewhere else. I mean, that might be 50 million, Michelle. Oh Jesus, I'm moving to Mars.
Thanks.
I'm
Thanks for
moving
that.
to Mars, man. That is it.
That's something I
Oh,
said.
But the
Or
problem
didn't
with all
say.
this, so if we go by most theories, there are 100 billion of us around the universe.
Oh, where'd Michelle go?
Do we lose you? Oh, she's got
She
cut.
goes.
Yeah.
So say there's 100 trillion of us out there, and everyone's experienced something different. So just everything good and everything bad you're experiencing, and then when you come back together as one person, I often wonder, is the good going to be lighter than the bad, or which one? Because I mean, you've now experienced everything you could possibly experience, and then there's a lot of horror in those experiences, but you also know there's a lot of good. I wonder which one's going to outweigh when you get to the scales. I've often wondered about that because when I think about some of the things you can experience on the bad side, I mean, there's some really horrible shit you can experience, and when you think about some stuff on the good side, there's also some very good stuff you can experience. So it always makes me wonder which one's going to outweigh at the end. I guess maybe that what will determine what happens to the universe in the final days, which way the scales tip. People, that means get out there and do some good shit is what that means. Start thinking of more ways to be good is all I can tell you.
But it's all relative, though, because your version of good could be somebody else's evil as well.
Right.
You could go through your entire life as a monk, thinking that you're doing the higher good of God and for the greater good of humanity, and find out in somebody else's story, you've created a whole hell world
Well,
that you're actually going to have to, have your own little come to Jesus moment over, because everything that you did through your whole life was absolutely evil in that person's world. So
I used 9/11 for that,
Like the
because for
chickens.
Americans it was horrible, but for the Arabs it was great.
If the chickens ever come to power, they would destroy us.
So they like
Whether
unity
you
and
eat chicken
freedom.
or not, by definition, you're a human. You're their enemy.
Oh, see, they would love you, Mike. You feed them,
You
get them
raise
fat. They don't know what happens
you
to them.
raise their people just to eat them, man. I mean, that's how sinister is that.
They don't know that. All they know is you feed them, get them plumped up, let them have lots of babies. See, that's a good thing for them, man. What you talking about? They don't know any better. It just always
They're
wonder.
gonna
Always
come
it
get you
always
for that,
wonders
Joe.
me how the scale's going to weigh out. Though it just does. It's just one of the things that
They're gonna
back of my
come
head.
get you for saying that.
Oh man, I don't eat chicken anyway, man. I eat steak. Now the cows might come get me. They might line up at my damn door to come get me, but other than that, maybe a couple horses too. A couple other animals. But what is that, Janine? What, can so if your dog dies, can it come back and haunt you? I have heard people saying that animals haunt, or haunt's maybe not the right word. Visit might be a better word. Because I've never really heard anybody tell me about their pet coming back and being nasty or trying to bite or anything like that. They just like come back to visit. I have not had experience. I've lost several animals in my life. I've never had that experience. So, I don't. Have y'all had a pet come back and tell you any
got a
hi? How about
ghost
that?
cat. Yeah.
It's it because I've had people tell me that, and and we've had a couple of pet psychics on that's talked about that. It's just I personally have not, so I can't really comment on it.
My last chihuahua was so bonded to me, she's never leaving.
Just
She
there
still
for
runs
life.
around the house. And ironically, one of the other little chihuahuas started acting just like her because she was very belligerent. She just smacked the gate when she wanted to, when she was hungry. She insisted she had to be with me for my morning latte and muffin or whatever and wanted it. And, she was full attitude. And the other dog's very gentle and keeps to herself. And all of a sudden, now this dog's a loud mouth and smacking the gate. And I'm just like, what's going on? I think she gets channeled. Seriously. So she's
We
definitely
love our
still
animals
around.
like we love our kids. They did a big study on how much people love their animals.
It's true.
Matter of fact, the shrink that did it he was so astonished that people love their animals as much as their kids. The guy was like, "Well, that's impossible." And the other guy's like,
Maybe more
"Obviously,
so.
it's not." The guy was like,
It,
"Obviously, it's
it
not."
really depends.
I wouldn't know to. I've lost pets. I lost two in the last 2 years, but
Mm.
it's always hard to lose one. But I got two crazy ones in the house right now. One that thinks she's a mother. She keeps going. I finally got her checked out. The doctor said she thinks she's having a baby. She's in false pregnancy. Oh, Fiona's on a diet. By the way, all my Fiona followers out there, Fiona is officially on a diet. Vet said put her fat ass on a diet. She got to get down to 8 pounds. Yes, I'm not gonna tell you how fat she was, so we'll just leave it at that. She's about 12 pounds anyway. She's pretty, but she's officially on a diet. The other one, I look at her and he says she weighs 4 pounds. I'm like, where? Where this dog weighs 4 pounds, I weigh 300. I mean, this dog is anyway. She's teensy. We have yeah, the UFO room's open. Yeah, I was telling you yesterday it was open. You can go to UFO Paranormal Radio. Yeah. No, we were taking questions in it last night. Yeah. You making me coffee, baby? Oh, I didn't get the bird thing, so that's a good sign. I didn't get the F you off. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me. I can't. Hold on. Let me open this. I can't see the message thing. Let me open it back up. Hold on. Okay, who is this? Who is this? And why are you texting me from there? Okay, yeah, I see what you're doing. What about Sarah? Oh, Reese is asking, how many haunted objects do you have?
Current time, almost 300, something like that.
Jesus, no wonder she crazy, people. She got went through crazy things in her house. See, I'm already nuts. If I had that many things in my house, I'd just be like, who, what? I'd just be whacked. I'd just be completely whacked. So what do you do? Like keep a spell in their asses to make them behave or something? Or they've already been trained to behave? I mean, what's going on here? I ask Michelle this all the time, how she gets them to behave back then.
I
She
think
The
a
whole
lot.
house is haunted. It's just not a big
That's what I'm
deal.
saying. You
Yeah,
get
see,
look.
she can't get away from it. I can't get away from it. I mean, I was a haunted person before I ever had haunting anything else, and the whole thing just kind of culminated into a lifestyle. And so it's like people think, oh, where'd you get your haunted items? Well, a lot of my haunted items are actually given to me for desperation because people just don't want to have them anymore, or they come from like a ghost investigation or whatever. Turns
That's
out
where
it was an item.
your shadow is the wrong way. You'll have to look at this video when you look at it. So your shadow is actually the wrong way for the way you're sitting. Your shadow is this way, and you're sitting this way. But down here on the bottom screen, it's not. It's different. There's no way for me to show you. Yeah, there's no way for me to show you. That's freaky weird or whatever
Oh,
that
I've
is.
got a lot of stuff right here on my right in front of me that I decided to bring out just in
Good,
case
you can
we
share.
got bored for show and tell. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for. I'm just waiting for when I'm watching the show one night for some stuff floating around behind her and shit. Some kind of
It's
poltergeist.
happened. People have got like
Well, so
EVPs on the
probably the
show.
same way stuff floating around. See,
I've
Mike,
seen lights behind her several times.
yeah,
Other
every now and then you do. You
than
see like a weird flash or something, or a weird. I don't want to say orb. You see like a weird.
We
Like
hear
a-
stuff
like a-
all the time too. Yeah.
It's,
It's haunted though, so people will watch,
I can't tell
when the
immediately
Outer
when I
Realm
see
is
something
on
like that,
and say,
it's
"Oh,
weird.
you've got stuff moving behind you," or they hear voices. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just maybe conditioned to it. I don't
I
see
seen
it.
a face
Yeah.
behind Amelia the other night, but I'm never going to tell her what it was. Hopefully, you're not listening, Amelia. It was a freaky face. Is all I got to say. But see, I often wonder how much. So with y'all two, I know y'all collected haunted items that came from other places, so you know they're legitimately haunted from another place. Because I often wonder with gifted people or gifted kids, whatever it may be, how much do we put into it? I mean, some objects, I often wonder if we're not the problem, not it. Because I know as a teenager, myself and others, you're pretty good about manifesting shit, stuff fall off, stuff fly off. You'll be sitting there, and someone just slide off the thing, and you instantly think ghost, but it might not actually be a ghost. It might just be something residual energy from somebody in the house or somebody who's psychic, or because psychic sometimes manifests telekinesis. It's just a rare thing, but it does happen. So I mean, for both of y'all two, I mean, y'all have this shit happening in your house, stuff will just start moving. But let me rephrase this. Especially, Sarah, I'm gonna ask you first. So, I know people get anxious, especially right now. Everybody's kind of a little off. Like it's hard to explain, but everybody's got this like thing in the back of their head, just waiting for the other shoe to drop, or some other shoe to drop, or some fucking brick to fall on our head or something. Because every time we turn around, we're being told it's the end of the world and we're all gonna die. So, and then on top of that, we all got financial stress on top of that. So I mean, in some cases, can you manifest this energy into something that say that you don't already have that's haunted, but you'll like see something new jump or fall or move or something weird, or a weird phone call come in? I'm just asking because I'm just personally nosy, actually.
I think that I think it's kind of like that. That some things we have intermittent, like let's say for sake of argument, like an energy burst that's uncontrollable. Like because our energy does have to go somewhere at some point, we don't keep it all in. I mean, it's scientifically proven that we don't actually bottle it all the time. We have these energy pulses. So maybe your human energy pulls us into something else and activates it a little bit more. It's quite possible. Just like the sound that I heard the other day, 2 days ago, against my Dolly painting. Like I said, there was nobody in the house or anything else, but I think that it was, and it was also during the daytime. So, but then again, it doesn't faze me because stuff comes during the daytime anyway. Nighttime just isn't more unusual than day for me. So,
Well, that surprised me even a little bit. It seems like it would all be the same. Sorry, I keep something. Oh, okay, never mind. I kept seeing something in front of this. I couldn't figure out what it was. It's a damn mic right here. So I mean, so Michelle, I know you get weird stuff goes on in your house, and I know you've had children you've raised in the house and stuff like that. So manifesting in the energy yourself, your own types of poltergeist. I guess what I'm looking for here.
all the time. Like I'll just jump back to haunted items. For example, I've brought in a lot of haunted items, but they don't act up for me. They may act up where they came from. Maybe it has to do with the people in the house, what was going on in their lives, the house, the property. I mean, You know, the first haunted item I ever brought in was a human skull. And it caused tons of grief at these people's homes. And nothing here. Just really, it's there. I know he's there.
I'd
You
be like,
know,
bitch, I am divorced and you bringing this skull up in the
yeah, I know.
house. I should have said,
You
I
know,
Dolly.
but I mean, there's like, oh, I've got like 5 of them, but there's just like there's no issues with some of these items at all. You know, and I can also release anything that wants to be released. So I've done that with a lot of items. It's just like it's not hard to do. You know, I don't need to have them. But with respects to growing up with kids in the house, my last house didn't start out haunted, but somehow a spirit had wandered in when my daughter started going through puberty, which is pretty normal. I mean, we're female, we have crazy emotions going through puberty or menopause, and a spirit wandered in. I tried to keep that all really like out of my life. I shut my abilities down for the most part to raise my family, but I didn't bank on the fact that my kids would actually be seers and they would experience things. And I was one day trying to delicately explain to my daughter about a spirit that had come into the house, and she goes, "Oh, you mean Bill, the guy with the plaid shirt, and the trucker hat that my friends see on the webcam?" I'm like, busted. Okay, so we had a talk about it, and he was a suicide from a nearby property. So just he was attracted to her light or her energy. But I mean, aside from that, it was just, clear the house, no problem, work with her and her energy. My boys weren't as bad as her. She was like all over the place. She created all kinds of bloody activity, just freaking psychokinesis. Everything's moving around the house, doors are opening. That's all her, though. That was nothing more than that. Now in this house, well, it's full on haunted and all kinds of stuff goes on in it. Has nothing to do with energy projecting.
I'd be like, ghost, be gone. I'm telling you, get out, ghosties. Not enough room for all of us in one house. I got to move on. Time to move on down the road. Let his house next door go haunt them for a while. It is strange, for people. And I know a lot of people that have haunted houses. Unfortunately, or fortunately for me, depending on how I look at it, I know quite a few people who are living in famous haunted houses. So it's kind of a strange thing. And in New Orleans, it's even weirder because the haunt is part of the resale. So, like in Nicolas Cage's house, you'd think buying Nicolas Cage's house would be enough because it's Nicolas Cage. I know, but it comes with its own woman that roams the stairs at night, or in afternoons, or in daytimes. And it's not an aggressive ghost, but it's a ghost that lets you know it's there, and you feel its presence, and it talks to you. Nicholas said a couple times because he invited people over to try to move the ghost along. He said I wasn't so much scared of it; it just startled me. And he said once people found out my house was haunted, he said it's one of the reasons I moved because nobody would stop bugging me about it. Oh, can I investigate your house? Can I investigate your house? Can I investigate your house? And he said, I'm just thinking they're trying to sneak into my house to look at me. He said, which may or not been true at this time. But, probably a lot of them were just legitimate, trying to find what was haunting the place. And so, when I think about cities, like St. Augustine's a very haunted city. How many times a year do you go visit them, Sarah? How many times you get to go up there and hang out?
Pre-COVID, I was there like 3 times a year or more. Now, I've just been going back.
Yeah, somebody else told me that too. They just started going back, and they just released the Canadians out of their country. Joe Biden said they can come here now.
We're not all like jamming up the borders trying to get in. I
that's
like
what I
what
was
you guys
saying.
does. 7 hours at the border, all these Americans coming in when we open the borders.
Yeah, they want to get out before they close the borders again. Let us get. We're going to move to Canada for a while.
So we have a lot of American people who live down, like out here. There's cottages and everything, and they have sailboats, and they just sat and sat and sat. So they were probably pretty anxious to get back and check out their homes and such.
See how they're doing. We were talking about that just recently too. About Florida has a buttload of rental properties. I mean, they have probably more rentals than they have people living in the state, which they have 23 million of. So.
Trump used to call us snow Mexicans.
Snow Mexicans.
What?
That's pretty good.
Snow Mexicans. All right.
Snow Mexicans.
I know.
You sure knew how to insult people when you wanted to. I got to give him credit for that. And the scary
I
part
don't
is he's going to probably be y'all's president again. Oh, wait, that's right. Y'all have pink shorts. I forgot.
know.
Anyway, um, now you get me thinking about the goofball. Now I can't help myself. You spent your honeymoon in St. Augustine. It is a beautiful old city. It's it's somewhere around there. It's supposed to be the Fountain of Youth, somewhere up and down that center line of the coast down there. I've never seen it. I've been all up and down in there too. I've been in the swamp. I've been in the Everglades. Well, Everglades are way the hell down there, but yeah, they say it's not. The original map I seen that brought you from St. Augustine to the Fountain of Youth, it was probably a good, if we measured in today's distance, probably about 80 to 100 miles. So, it's down there, further down than people think it is. But as far as I know, no one's found it. And I always wonder about that thing if there's a catch 22 to it. So, yeah, you get to be young and youth again. What's the catch 22? Do you have to keep drinking this stuff once you drink it? Or remember, like with the Holy Grail, when you crossed over the seal, you died. Well, you died. That doesn't. Who wants to be young and live in caves? That just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't make any sense. Barry, what you got for us? Can ghosts make you young? I don't know. Can they, ladies? I don't know. Can a ghost like possess you and make you young again?
I haven't
not-
found one yet.
I haven't heard one. I haven't
I'm
heard one. If
still
I
not
find
young.
one, though, I'm going to
still
visit.
not young.
I'm with Michelle. I've not heard anything of that, or if somebody to make
Bring
no,
it.
no.
I mean, Barry, was there like, did you hear about this somewhere? London, England. You got to give me more than that, my friend. Look, I know where London, England is. Yes, I have friends there, but what about it?
I'll move in if that's the case.
That's what I'm saying. I'm closing up shop, moving over there. We be broadcasting live from London. Well, Atreides used to swear he had a ghost there that kept him young. Atreides was a friend of ours. Good looking guy when I first met him. He was in his late 20s, getting his 30s. And he swears he had this club he used to go to. When you ordered a specific drink, it always would take 5 years off of you. And the guy would only let you have one every 2 years, though. I was like, what? I said, dude, you're on crack. He said, no, I'm serious, Joe. I said, well, when I fly over there, you better find me one of these drinks. Oh, Lord, the stuff people come up with. And then one of the astronauts said if you go to space on a regular basis, it de-ages you. I
Slows
don't
the
know.
aging process, but at some point you come back.
Oh, hey, Dave. It's weird. I don't know. I mean, I've heard lots of stories about de-aging drugs, de-aging this, de-aging. I've never heard about a ghost de-aging, but I guess anything is possible. I guess you could share its energy. And the problem, with,
You mean a demon?
Well, I'm thinking if you're going backward, yeah, I know it could be a demon, huh? But I think if you're re-aging, it's got to be a little bit on a painful side, doesn't it? I can't exactly see. You've had surgeries over the years. Other things are going on in your life. Things might all of a sudden start growing back. They've now been taken out. I'm not sure how the hell this is going to work out.
It's
well,
the demons, man. They'll
What's the
sell
guy?
it.
Well, there's a guy from Saudi Arabia. He said he stumbled into the cave of Jesus. Sorry, and all of his teeth grew back. It knocked his false teeth out, and all his teeth grew back. And he said it was extremely painful. He said when he got out, he noticed all the wrinkles on his face hadn't been gone. I said, okay. Well, the funny part of it is he has a picture of him with false teeth and fairly wrinkled up. He looks young today. He's got real teeth. So I said, well, maybe he had implants put on because we don't really know. I mean, the guy does look like 15 years younger than he did. And it's like, well, he swears his cave, and he said he woke up the next morning laying in the desert like the cave had set him out on its own. I was like, I said, I don't know what kind of. I said, that's a good hashish they got over there in the Middle East.
Dropping acid or something?
I don't know, but he does look younger. I mean, I've seen both pictures of him, and he was showing the video of. Thank you, baby. Okay, he was showing the video of him where his friend was pulling on his teeth, and they weren't moving or anything. So, but that still doesn't mean they're not implants. They still could be implants. But I don't know if you live in the middle of the Middle East, because these guys didn't look like they had money or anything. So I don't know. It was a strange story. And then, of course, I've heard rumors like the Ark can make you young. And, of course, they say the Holy Grail can make you young. But, and
If
certain
it doesn't
aliens
kill
can
you
make you
first.
young. Say it again.
If touching it doesn't kill you first, or
That's
other knock you into another dimension.
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
wondered about that part, too, Oh, is this hell? Oh, shit. How do I get out of here now? How does this thing work? I went out of here. Hey, Sean, how you doing, baby?
Hey,
We lost. Oh, there you are.
there you go. Hi, ladies.
Hey, Sean.
Hello, Sean.
Sean, you met Sarah before, haven't you, Sean? Sean is from Pittsburgh Paranormal. Sarah is our resident demon.
Yep.
Oh, she's my friend on
She's
She-
just in human form today. That's all.
she's on my friends on
Oh, is she?
Facebook.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Sarah been around for a while. She's we were talking about haunted things that people have in their house and stuff. These two over here, the redhead and the blackhead, collect this shit. You see, I didn't even call y'all by name, man.
The redhead.
and the blackhead.
It looks kind of plum to me.
It's,
Is it plum?
Plum.
Oh,
I
gotta
don't know.
see the
Different
plums.
days it looks different. 'Cause that's like when
No.
Amelia's on. Sometimes it looks red, sometimes it looks orange. I guess it depends what kind of background I got running. And
Yeah.
tonight we have the pumpkins running. What is that? Who? Oh yeah, I did call her Sarah. It's just a thing. It's too hard to explain right now, but it's just a thing. Yes. Well, I know
So-
that's Sarah. That's just sometimes I call her that. You'll
So
know
how
her
was
more.
everybody's trick or treaters? We had over 200 kids tonight.
Oh
Oh,
my
my
god!
goodness.
I'd have been out there with a
Three.
super soaker.
Nobody wants to come to a spooky haunted house.
Two.
Yes, she's the one you used to read about,
That's
and the kids
crazy.
would ignore the house. I live too far away. The kids ain't coming here.
I'm creepy. They stay away from me.
Good. Nah.
Yeah.
Damn. Look at the money you save on candy.
But hey, you know what? When I was younger, I used to sit outside with a super soaker and say, "Whoever gets your super soaker can have some candy." Soak them down, man. Soak them down. I even soaked a couple of adults down a few times. It's hey, it's trick or treat. You never know what you're gonna get when you come to my house. You might get a trick, you might get a treat, you might get a little of both. But no, where we live now, we don't really see that. We see oh, you know what I did see that night was creepy as shit. So I'm coming back home. I turn off of the beach highway and I'm turning on the highway around my Bayview, which is right where my street is on Mimosa. So I'm getting ready to turn, and I swear, it looked like a guy, but just walking across the street. The reason I say it's a guy because I couldn't really make it out was it looked like a shadow. We dropped it, Sean. Hold on. It looked like like a guy that was a shadow, but you could see all the outlines, the hands, the fingers, the whole 9 yards. But it looked black and translucent.
Hmm.
But yet it still had a solid text. Like I don't know, it's weird to say what it was. I don't know what it was. And you see weird stuff because a lot of people died here during Katrina, well, and Betsy and Camille and numerous other storms. You can still walk around with a metal detector. A guy the other day found a diamond ring not too far from here, and
Now,
they were asking him if it was from Katrina, and when they had it analyzed, it was probably like from before Betsy. It's been in dirt for at least 60 years.
wow.
Yeah, so they don't know who it was for. And they did find a name inside. You do find stuff like that all the time around here because houses got flattened.
Now, is it legal to metal detect on there?
Yeah,
I mean, due to the storms and stuff like that. I mean, I know, like if you go to Gettysburg, right, you can't metal detect. And
oh
if
no,
you
not
do
there. That's
find
different.
it is different. Okay.
Now, some of the some of the Civil War battlefields down here, you can't metal detect those either.
Right.
They don't. There's sections they'll let you go, but there's most of the place they won't let you go. And that's like a friend of mine's got a bone. We were down in the bottom of Alabama, and we were in a Civil War battlefield. And he's digging around. He pulls out a femur about yay long, somebody's bone, and he took it, and got his ass in trouble because he was on the radio bragging about it one night. And a couple of days later, a cop showed up at his house, and I guess the guy who from Alabama, he had told the ranger at Alabama that he had a radio show, and I guess he was bragging about a radio show. They showed up and removed it from his possession.
Wow, of course.
But they didn't go put it back though. They kept it for, I guess they were doing analyzing it. They didn't. He said now they told him if he'd have told them about it, and it was a legit find, that he probably would have got to keep it after they did their analysis on it. But since he basically stole it, is the way they said,
Mhm.
it was a whole different thing. They could actually charge him and shit. He was amazed. But I forget sometimes because some parks are state parks and some parks are federal parks, and it's different rules when you're on a federal park versus a state park. So in other words, say like if you live in Colorado where marijuana is legal, if you go on a federal park and you smoke marijuana, you can get up to 5 years because as far as the Fed's concerned, it's still a Schedule I drug that carries a maximum sentence. even though it's legal in Colorado, it's not legal on that federal park.
Well, you know what? We have a park. Like when I go to Gettysburg, I go through Maryland, and there's a park down there. You can't even take a pebble from that park at all. I mean, if they catch you taking a rock or a stone from there,
I understand that.
they arrest
There was
you.
there's a place in the Ozarks that people used to come take a piece of crystal. They stopped it because you could physically see the damage they were causing. It had actually concaved into the side of the wall and made this big area. And most of the crystal had been stripped away, so you didn't get that beautiful reflection on the waterfall that you would normally get because the crystals were there. So they said, no, you got to quit doing it now. So I can understand some of the rules, some rules I can't. What was that, Jenny? Wait, what? Which one? They both like haunted stuff. Oh, both of them. Oh, okay. I'll ask both. So, Jenny Reese is writing in. Jenny, I know you. I know you recognize your last name is Floridian. She's another Floridian, Sarah. She's in Jacksonville, not far from St. Augustine. She said that she had been in St. Augustine, and she was asking if either one of you two had heard about this. She said she was in St. Augustine. Some guy owned a store in the corner, and she said when she went in, wait, do you know what corner it was? I mean, you have any idea of the street name? Well, ask your husband and find out. I'm curious. And was looking. She said when she got in there, all the antiques, dolls, and other things were like every time she'd moved, it was like they were staring at her. She said the whole place, she said the whole shop felt haunted, not just the individual items. She said the whole place felt haunted. And she said, I kept getting this sense, get them out. Just get, like I didn't belong there. And she said she noticed the longer she stayed, the more the man and woman couple that was in there got more aggravated and intense. So she's thinking to herself, well, you're trying to sell me products, but yet you're getting irritated and aggravated while I'm here. Obviously, she must have irritated whatever spirits that were in this place enough that it aggravated the people. And then she told me a couple of months later the people lost it and somebody else got the place. So I have no idea where she's talking about. You need to find out for me. I mean, St. Augustine's not little, but it ain't big either. I mean, it's only so many blocks. Well, let me know. Anyway, Sarah's been at St. Augustine. So have you ever experienced anything like that in St. Augustine?
Nope. I was there back in the '80s, but when I was in the service. But I went to the dog track down there. I didn't do no ghost hunting down there.
Well, that's not hunting for no demon.
You know.
Sarah's a local resident expert on St. Augustine. What do you think? Anything weird like that?
I was going to ask, is it one of the shops that's on the street that has the old Spanish hospital on it? Aviles?
What does the old Spanish hospital look like?
Yeah, it's right at the corner. It says it's a tourist attraction, and you go down the street, and there's it's like a corner store, and there's another corner store, and then there's like a whole bunch of antique shops. There's like
she said that sounds right, but she's not 100% sure. Well, when your old man comes home, I'd like to know. I'll send it to Sarah too. I'm just curious to where you work.
Yeah, there's a lot of places like that. But the funny thing about it is that sometimes spirits, for the good or for the bad of it, will kind of make people feel uncomfortable intentionally, because I believe they get over exposed to things. They probably get tired of people poking them and wanting them to turn flashlights on and off like they're a circus freak, and it makes me really sad to see things like that. And I realize that as an investigator myself, and I know you guys as well, you go to tourist places and you walk around and you see all these people just playing it up for the tourists because they need the tourist dollars, but at the same time you're dealing with entities, for all intents and purposes, are kind of like yourself, where they have a life every day. And how would you like it if somebody was poking at you and say, "Hey, can you turn on my iPhone? Can you turn the battery on my iPhone? Or can you turn the light on?" You'd get that too.
Mm-hmm.
Done with people.
Another story. I'm sorry, I'm full of stories tonight. We were at Gettysburg on Sachs Bridge, and this guy who was charging $50 a person to go on his tour, he was using dividing rods, right? And he was on the bridge underneath the water. The water was underneath, and you know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude. You know, whenever there's water around, they're going to go get manipulated. And I mean, I'm like, $50 for something like that. That's 200. I don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's just kind of sickening. I mean, for it's a place that I've been to Gettysburg a bunch of times too. I also like to go to Antietam. Antietam's more impressive to me. I've had some really intense experiences at Antietam. I mean, there's places in Gettysburg that no birds sing, but in Antietam, not only do they not sing in places, but you get a distinct feeling that nobody wants you standing in that spot.
Over by the church, over by the Dunkard Church. That had a weird feeling to it.
Oh yeah. It's
I get
something.
weird feelings all over the place. That sounds a little strange. What is this? Yeah, Dean. So where is this? So anyway, in the last week, myself included, and 7 or 8 other people I know have gotten on their phones. It showed up that we were in northern Canada. This isn't the first time this has happened. This has happened before. Now, according to my GPS, I was in northern Canada. I forgot the name of the city. I got it written down. I'm trying to find out if it's the same one as they're sending me. But it sounds like the same place. Now, last time this all happened, we were north of where Laura Lee and Dell live, somewhere in some city.
North of Thunder Bay.
Some city started with an E.
That's
It was
northern
like
Ontario. You've also been tagged in Saskatchewan.
yeah, that's right. And so it's weird that this is happening. So, and it's not a bunch of people. It's a dozen people, half dozen people sometimes. There's something going up there for us. For you, your cell phones just don't go off that bad on their own. My phone, I have to physically be somewhere, or the phone, not me. The phone has to physically be somewhere for the GPS to say it was there. So, everybody carries their phones on them. So if somebody's being taken, they get their phone in their back pocket or their front pocket, wherever they're carrying the damn thing. It's a good chance whatever they got taken, their phones got taken with them. So it's just weird. What does it mean? I have no idea. As soon as I remember to find the city again, I'll tell y'all. But yeah, Chris, I know it's a weird thing, and it's only a handful of people that's contacted me in the last week, but it's still trippy weird. It's like middle of Canada. It's always in the middle of Canada, middle northern part of Canada. It's always weird where it's at, or sometimes it'll be along the edge of one of the bays. What's that inland bay at the top right side of the state, the country? Well, I can't remember it now, but it's always in my head. Hudson Bay. Okay, I knew it. Yeah, thank you. No, thank you. So we've had people that along the edge of the Hudson Bay that have been reported in their phones. They're Americans and even Mexicans, by the way, that have never been in Canada in their entire lives. I've never been to Canada, but on at least half a dozen times or more, my phone said I was in Canada. And the best part was a couple of times it was ticking live, like you're in Canada right now. And I'm like, really? And I'm looking around and saying, I don't think so. But my phone's saying I'm right there right now. And I brought it into T-Mobile. When I had the AT&T, I brought it into them and said, what the hell's wrong with my phone? It says, nothing wrong with your phone. It's working perfectly. I said, well, keep saying it in case. He said, no, dude, your phone's working perfectly. He says, not saying it. I said, here's a picture of it. He's like, what? I said, yeah, I took a picture of it. And I said, this is where it said I was. I said, I don't know what to think about it. Not even sure what to say about it. Have no idea what it means before anybody asks, but it is weird. And it does happen. But I do get Canadians sometimes, or even Europeans, that get pinged out of the United States, usually in a heartland somewhere. Yeah, whoever wrote it might be on it could be, but it might be something else.
I want to make reference. Joshua keeps asking about this town in Canada. Do you remember when we did the Gray Zone?
Yeah.
And we were talking about that little town up in northern Canada, up like I think it's Northwest Territories, somewhere up that way. And it was an Inuit village that the reporter went in and found, and everybody was gone. Dogs were frozen, even though like within hours. I mean, yet there was still food cooking. There was still fully stocked everything. And one of the neighboring towns basically saw lights over that village, and everybody just disappeared. And he's wondering if you remember that story.
I do remember it, and it's not the only place either, by the way.
Yeah, there we
From
go.
time to time, around the world, villages, towns, and even cities people go missing. Well, let's look at a Toltecs. The city that shadows Mexico City, which is a massive city, it's designed to look like the mountain range behind it. I never can pronounce the name of the city, and that whole city just went. Matter of fact, the whole Toltec people went missing at one time. Nobody can find it. See, with the Aztecs, the Incans, and the Mayans, we kind of knew what happened. The Toltecs were a thriving civilization like the Egyptians, at least as advanced as the Egyptians. And one day they were gone. And some people, oh, they turned into these and they migrated into Toltecs, Aztecs, and Incans. Maybe or maybe not. But there's a whole tribe down there that has a different sized skull than we do. Their bodies are shaped a little different than us. And they're supposed to be original descendants of the Toltecs. I'm thinking somebody came and got them. They said, well, y'all been here long enough. But it's not, I mean, we've got cities in Europe where the whole cities became empty. We got the two sunken cities off the coast of India that went empty long before they sunk. There's just places in the world that no one can explain why the civilization. Most of the time when I think about this, I got to be honest, I usually think of some kind of plague or some kind of disease that drove them out. But usually you'd find some kind of writing somewhere that suggested that. Marshall, you'd have to ask Seraphine. She'll take you on a tour of St. Augustine. Yeah, write her and catch her in her email. I still don't see it. When you send it to me, I'll let you know if it's the same one that I seen. I'll have to pull up a Canadian map. Hold on while we're doing that. I'll find one. And we'll see which ones you're talking about. It's all
Isn't Canada bigger than the United States?
By far. Like twice the size at least.
So be careful, Joe.
if we didn't have Alaska, shit, we wouldn't even be close to Canada size. We'd be the same size as Brazil. That's that deal we got from the Russians, a penny and a sticker, and we took over.
I guess I felt sorry for you.
Yes, it was. Yeah, well, back in the day, America wasn't much. So that was a good territory to get to. But Canada, it makes up almost half the continental USA, so that tells you a different side. Even though our population's like 5 times or 6 times Canada's, they got way more territory than we do.
Mm-hmm.
It's no, Russia's bigger than them, by the way. Oh, is it here? Wait, what are you sending me? Is it here? Wait, hold on, let me see. I can't make that out, dude. I know y'all all talking together, but I can't make it out. That's Ottawa. No, that ain't where mine says. Screw that. I ain't been to Ottawa. No, mine's somewhere up in. I think it was like Thompsonville or something like that. Yeah, it was like in the middle of the country, in the middle of the north, on the way up to the north. Yeah, I think it was. I'll look at. Hold on. God, you're gonna drive me crazy to look this up. No, see what happens when you don't pay attention. When you pay attention to the wrong things. 296693. Okay, code open. It is. I was wrong. That ain't the name of it. Yeah, no, it's. I'll have to pull it up and see. It's hard for me to see, but it starts with an M and it's on a bay somewhere up there. I don't know. Michelle don't know every town in Canada.
What?
He said, ask Michelle. I said, she don't know every town in Canada.
Sure.
It starts with an M. It starts with an M and it's on Hudson Bay. It's on the bottom part of Hudson Bay.
You're asking me. I look like I live in freaking Hudson Bay.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
Nobody
not
knows
an
it.
Eskimo.
You have to be asking Sarah. I mean, Jesus.
I don't like the cold either. One
What?
second.
No, it's not Manitoba. That ain't the name of it. It's Moosum or something. Moos.
No, not Moosonee.
Moosoner. Whatever it is, it's right at the bottom of some.
I'm just telling you, that's what it is.
Moosonee. Okay, it's Moosonee.
Moosonee. That's
So like
the one I think you're trying to spell. It's a place.
So 14 people got their cell phone said they were in Moosonee. What the hell is? I'm about to look at it. It looks like a shithole for me. I haven't even looked it up yet.
No.
It's in Hudson Bay, which goes straight out into the Atlantic, doesn't it? It might be.
Well, it's like Dave Petrella says, there's some serious magnetic anomaly in Hudson Bay. Sure, yeah, there is. But there's a lot of that anywhere where you have a lot of UFO activity. And there's a lot up there because it's really isolated.
Yes, all of Canada is probably just a UFO base.
Well, you go to the east coast of Canada, it goes up, you've got the Bay of Fundy, you've got all kinds of them up there, little islands, and it's really desolate up there.
Yeah, that's probably why they want to take you up there, because nobody can see what's going on when they're probing you.
So Hudson Bay is like our Area 51.
Sort of. There's a lot of weird stuff happens. up there.
Possibly. We have a lot of places in Canada. We're a very big country. We don't have the population that the United States has. So there's a lot of places, to get lost in, a lot of places where things go on. Even like northern Saskatchewan, like right up on the edge up there. I think even in World War II, they were, experimenting with, different viruses and things like that up there, because you just don't, nobody will go up there. I think we even had POWs up there at one point. I never even thought we had them in Canada, but they were brought here.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff goes on up there we don't know about. A lot of weird stuff happens in the area. And Brian, I don't know. It's just make it as another anomaly and enter it in the laws. That's the fifth or sixth time we've all had a group of us in a particular town where you can fly up there and see what you can find out. You can get in Canada now.
This Joshua Murphy said, Joe, I heard that birds lose their sense of direction if the UFO is around.
A lot of times, yeah, it is true. You'll crash and things run into stuff. Anytime, it's not just their stuff; it's our stuff too. Though there's like some of the pulse drive engines or the Aurora engines or the TR3B engines. They all run on weird. One runs on a gravitational drive, which throws them off. One runs on a pulse drive, which throws them off. It's too much. It's too much input for however they take in input. It's just too much for them. And that's a question. So if a bird eats a haunted object, is the bird haunted? So you must have been.
Take it away, Sean.
I think it was directed at Sarah, actually, but I was watching Andromeda Strain last night, the new one. Maybe that's what he's talking about. I have no idea what kind of question that was.
I don't think so. I don't think.
So just okay, Jenny, hold on. So Jenny's asking Sarah, what happens when you merge? What do you mean merge? So when you put different objects and different things next to each other, is there conflicts or is there trouble from them? What do you mean demonstrate? Are you on crack?
Come here, little girl. I'll show you myself.
I'm just saying, it scared me now. I wouldn't think about this. Oh, can ley lines affect ghosties? I don't know. Can they?
Sure, it's part of the equation in some places.
I'd be like ghosting it.
Ley lines can affect ghost activity. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I had a location where no matter how hard we tried to clear it, we just couldn't. It was on Lake Erie, very active, and a friend of mine at the time, an elderly friend of mine, he worked with ley lines, and he says, yeah, you can move them very slightly, energy wise, And I didn't tell him anything about this location, and out of the blue, he goes, "What's up with?" And he named the name of the town, and I went, "What about it?" And he goes, "Why can't you clear it?" It's really gifted, and I was like, "Oh, I think there's a ley line." He goes, "Why don't you just move it?" I'm like, "You can freaking move a ley line?" He goes, "Yeah, give me a minute." In a freaking minute. But as soon as he did it, I got a text from the owner of the house, and she goes, "I don't know what you just did." She goes, "But something completely changed." And he goes, "Oh, that thing you're hunting down?" He goes, "It's outside the house now." I went in and we tapped in, and lo and behold, there it was.
Wow.
So they most definitely, they're energy lines. Of course, energy can manipulate energy. It's just for sure. Mm-hmm. Right? So.
How do you move a ley line? Did he ever tell you?
I think that was just his little secret.
Oh my
but
God.
I know he did it. Yeah. I know he was really gifted. When he came to me as somebody with an attachment, and it was someone he worked with, and he said, like, this man works with the planet energy fields. He works with whales. He works with all kinds of things. And she basically said, she goes, "He's not from here. And if anything happens to him," she goes, "we're going to lose a really good ally working planetary wise." And boy, oh boy, I came to know him. He's probably in his 60s. And I came to know him quite well over the years. And the things he could do was just phenomenal. It
Hmm.
just no rhyme or reason, and it was always for the good of everything. But like anything, when you tap into places and you're not, as he was getting older and his mind is starting to go and he refuses to stop the work, he's not protecting himself or grounding himself the same, and things are coming back with him.
Ooh, okay.
So that's how that came to be. So now we keep him clear at all times, and he goes in and he can just do whatever it is he has to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stephanie, I'm not a Ghostbuster. That's Michelle, Sean, Seraphine, and Michael. Yeah, I don't bust ghosts. No. Matter of fact, if I
Ghostbuster.
get
I
a
can't even
ghost, if I need
tackle
a
that
ghost
term.
busted, I just call one of them and say,
Busted.
"Come on,
I can't do it.
Ghostbusters." Well, okay, we'll start with what I'm just gonna start with Seraphine. We'll work this way around. So, Seraphine, if you have something that's how can I say this? That's you have something that's coming in your house and disturbing you. What's what's the fastest or easiest way for you to deal with? Do you keep it? Do you confine it, or do you get rid of it, or something in between? I have no clue. That's why I'm asking.
I was just gonna say there's really no easy, way to approach that. It just depends on what it is and what it's trying to do. The first thing that I actually personally do is try to communicate with it and find out exactly what its deal is, and go from there.
Talk to it and hope it doesn't shoot you into space. I got you. I have no.
I love it.
Hey, if Elon would take me, I would go. I'm just saying ahead of time. If Elon says, "Joe, you want to go for a ride?" I'm all for it. Sean, what do you think, man?
I agree with Seraphine. That's what I would do. Talk to it, try to communicate, and if nothing happens, and I personally, if I get a bad response from it, then I get rid of it.
Michelle.
Need to ask. I coexist nicely with everything,
Yes,
but
Miss Canadian
if it's
Elvira.
causing
We know
some
all about that.
havoc, then it's ass's grass for sure.
She's six. She's six. Michelle. I mean, Michelle. She's six. Amelia. I
Amelia.
was gonna say Michelle.
Uh,
Michael. Yeah. What do you think, Michael? Did you fall asleep on us?
Nah, about what?
If a ghost, if a
Nice to know
ghostie
you're
was
paying
coming in your house, well, if an entity was coming into your house, what would you do?
Make it clean. Take the garbage out.
Uh-uh.
Do the floors. I don't know.
I was
Can
thinking
they,
if I
are
lived
they
in New
like
York, I'd call a
poltergeists? Can they
Ghostbusters.
do any good, or are they just they're gonna talk some trash, verbal diarrhea type of stuff?
But that's another question that I see come across all the time for our groups. Is talk trash and ghosty a good idea?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, or irritating a ghosty a good idea? I mean, what do y'all think? Is it?
You mean provoking?
Yeah,
No,
provoking. Yes,
not at all.
like you better listen to me, you effing ghost, or else. I mean, what are you gonna
No.
kill it? I mean, he's already dead. I'm kind of confused by that. I'm just saying.
Depends on who and situation,
Yeah. No. That's not cool. Here's my theory on it. Yeah, I mean they were human too at one point in time. So it's like if I treat them with respect in return, they'll respect. I don't call them out. It's ridiculous.
Depends on the situation. We were dealing with a serial killer one time, trying to provoke him to draw him out so people could tackle him. I mean, we're not going to sit there and talk nice to him and be like, "Oh, hey, come on out. Can you show yourself?" Man. I mean, you got to go to the core of the guy, his torment, bring him out, and then let people do their job, right?
Ladies, what y'all think? You want to go first? I don't know. Nobody's getting bit by no dose. We're in a little box here. They can't get us. Sarah, what do you think? Should you provoke or should you not? Did you get a damn bitch slap that ghost around so you want to talk to me? Or, I'm just asking, man. Sarah's not going to answer me. She's ignoring me. Oh, what if she is? Seraphine, can you hear us, baby?
I think she fell asleep, man.
No,
Well, there
it
she is.
got garbled there. I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. No, I was asking you. Do you think provoking's a good idea or not? To provoke a ghostie.
It's still laggy.
I wonder what's going on. I wonder what's happening with it.
It's a
Knock
ghost.
it off. It's a ghost. That's what it is. The ghost don't want to answer.
It's that
Michelle,
doll
what do you
behind
think?
her, man. I was watching that doll move
I mean,
around.
that doll's creepy, man. The doll's been moving around back there.
That doll was just dancing
Seraphine,
before.
we keep an eye on your doll, buddy. We all got our eyes on you watching that sucker. It's I gotta watch when Michelle gets stuff behind it. Likes to move around and stuff. It's like a
Says
tease.
the house is haunted. I don't have my haunted items out. I'm not as gracious as Seraphine is right now. Y'all should be taking advantage of that show and tell. Just saying.
I know. You can show whatever she want. Well, wait a minute. That came out
Yeah,
the
you
wrong
don't
way.
see. You
Sorry
don't get
about
to
that.
see. You don't get.
That
You
came
don't get
out
to see
entirely
that stuff
wrong
all the
way.
time.
I'm not a personal exhibitionist. I'm a museum person.
Yes, it's
Only the items,
the
not what you
so I mean, so wait, so what's your favorite piece? So show me your favorite piece. I'm just curious of what your favorite pieces are. Because I'm always curious when somebody comes on, when they have haunted things, like the guy with his dolls. I asked him what his top 10 dolls were. Matter of fact, three of them creeped the living crap out of me. I said I don't want to see your dolls again. That's how bad it was. But for you, Sarah, what is your like your top five, 10 pieces that you really enjoy? Pieces that you might take out and look at or mess with.
Oh, here's one that I actually do wear from time to time. And that was given to me because a person believed that it gave them bad juju, for lack of a better term. And I've actually had this under a microscope to try to figure out what is so special about this, because it's really not that special, but it's kind of interesting. Here, I'll show you.
Oh wow, that's nice. That's cute.
That's different.
Yeah,
It's cool looking. Whatever. I can't
Always
make it
looks like an angel. Looks like an angel.
No, definitely not.
I was thinking maybe it's a scarab with something else attached. It's hard to tell from here. It looks cool, whatever it is, though.
Yeah, and
It
if you
looks like some Indian art with something added into it.
yeah, there's a discoloration in the top side if you look real close.
Yeah, I can see it on the right up there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Under a
Something like that.
microscope, that actually turns into something not really cool.
Oh,
And so a lot of people look at it and go, "Oh my gosh, it's possessed," and blah blah blah. I, knock wood, have never really had any issue with it. It's kind of an interesting piece, but it does talk. Every once in a while, you get voices. You get. I'll be driving in the car with this. I'll wear it as a brooch or a choker, and I will have a male voice tell me just random, weird, creepy things. And I know this is the only thing that actually does that one weird, creepy thing. I'm sure, Michelle, you have a few pieces that are like, yep, that's what that is. Uh, it's like if it speaks or wiggles or whatever, it's like, oh, yeah, that came from there.
Do their thing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I have this rock here. A lot of people will go, what do we do with a rock? Well, this rock was given to somebody. There's a problem with relics for all of y'all that actually collect, like myself, that some things are kind of ill-gotten, let's just say, and it comes back to bite the owner in the rear end. And this is one of those items. I'll show you. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this.
That's
can see
pretty
the lines
cool.
in
yeah, it is. That's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Blow it up. So, whoa, there we go. I can see it really good now.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, if y'all watch on small screen, ooh, I can see myself pretty good. So if you put it on full screen, I can see all kind of lines in it. It looks like some kind of figure in the middle. It almost looks like a fox or a wolf, or I can see an eye up here and a head. Wow, it's badass.
Looks like a
whatever it is.
face.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a reflection off of the part of the reflection off of the bag. It looks cool.
And just holding it, I get kind of my feeling. I get like shocks and stuff from it. But this actually comes from the Valley of the Temple of the Jaguar. It was a dig site that actually was not supposed to have anything except for cataloged items come in and out of, and somebody decided to be dumb. Let's just put it that way. And it came out that this thing actually does a lot of things that are not cool.
Not cool things usually amount to cool things.
Yes, like I have candles. If I can't leave anything that ignites anywhere in the room, anything ignitable, like cotton or candle wicks, things like that, you have to leave out of the room. All of my relic room has nothing that you can light on fire, or anything that is remotely like an accelerant. So there's
Crazy.
not the temptation. But yeah, it just is weird. And so if people were going to say what would be the most evil, that I wouldn't say evil. It has kind of a sinister kind of air to it. It's kind of angry. I would be angry myself, but there's no way for me to actually return it. There's like 60,000 digs in that one part. So there's no way that I could actually send it back to South America. Like, here, I'm going to go to Belize just to chuck it in a ditch. I don't think so.
Yeah, they probably show back up.
Go to Belize, but not to chuck things in ditches.
Yes. It would probably show back up anyway.
Yeah, I've had several things actually do that. I have a monkey skull that actually did that. That's
So,
no.
there's a couple of things I tossed when I was younger. I remember I thought like it was a gift from one of the mafia friends in our family, and I had put it on, and it was creeping me out for some reason. So I was going to when I tossed out the window on Interstate 10, doing about 75, 80. I figured it hit the ground, it was a piece of junk. I got back to the house, it was on the house. I was like, and I asked them, I said, I did bring this with me. They creeped everybody on the car with me because they remember me putting the window and throwing it out. I mean, putting it in the car and throwing it out the car. I said, well, I guess it wants to stay, so we're just going to leave it alone. And I noticed if I put it too close to my television would turn. So if I had one of these little ones with the antenna back in the day, it would shut it off every time I got close to it. I have no idea what it was. It was a little round, looked like a piece of onyx is what it looked like. And I have no idea what the hell it was. Never had it analyzed. It's in a safe right now. Matter of fact, anything I get that's weird goes in the safe. He gets locked its ass up so he can't bother me. Put it in there with some wicked stuff that keeps it in there and you stay in the safe, man. That's where you belong. Until, usually what happens with stuff, when I get stuff, I usually give it to someone. Like, I know y'all, but I know other people who collect weird stuff. Like, I got a friend of mine who only collects weird anomalies that comes from Anne Rice, which is strange. I have no idea what that is. But a lot of people down here try to find stuff from Marie Laveau. And see, I know her great grandson, so it's a little different for me. He's got all kind of stuff from her, and it was so funny. I remember I was arguing with John about where she was buried, and I remember he called me the next day. He said, "Yeah," he said, "everybody thinks they know where she is, but nobody knows." And the only thing he would allude to me, it's a particular part of swamp which a lot of people kind of already thought she was there, but where they're talking about, average everyday person is not going to go back there. Even the people in gator hunters aren't going back there. The only reason you'd go back there is like if you were doing some like oil exploration or something that involved crossing through the swamp. Because it's just too far back in the swamp. Even hunting, it's not worth going that far back, and it's creepy back there, man. I'm telling you, we walked off a plantation back there, bitch wouldn't even catch on fire. It wouldn't burn for nothing, inside or out. And I know some of it was mold or fungus infested, but a lot of it was just dry wood. It wouldn't catch for nothing. So we just figured, well, matter of fact, I remember Chris was taking pictures of it. Chris and Jeff were taking pictures of that old haunted place, and they were breaking windows as they were taking pictures. 3 weeks later, we were cutting across there, going to see a friend of ours. Every window in that plantation was back. It was a broken window in the whole place. And the bitch part was not only were they back, but they had that old look like the stuff from mold and stuff were on them. So it wasn't like somebody came and replaced the glass. It was like it renewed itself. The house is still back there today. 50 years later, 40 years later, you can still go back there and see it's still back there. They said all kind of haunted stuff back there. All kind of weird people were back there. They said Marie Laveau used to go to parties regularly there with other people of her kind. And no, I don't mean of colored people. I mean of what she practiced. And she wasn't true voodoo either. She was more hoodoo than voodoo, but still, she was into that stuff. Mark, she did a lot of what Marie Laveau did was put people together. Yes, that was her number one selling spell. Not to make money, but she always thought it was to make money. But her number one spell was to hitch people up, especially people who were not meant to be together. Like really rich people with, some maybe slave girl or something along those lines. Oh, yeah. It's quite famous. It's quite well known in the city. If you go around, there'll be all kind of places where they represent it and all where she used to practice it. She had a place where she was a hairdresser, and that's how she used to get her clients. And most people didn't know that.
Mm. I didn't know that.
That's how she got her clients. And then she started doing parties and stuff. But she was serious. She didn't play around, from what I understood. From what her family says, all the stuff that's been handed down to him and the lore that goes along with it, she was not to be trifled with. She said his great grandpa told him one time just before she passed. He said some guy came in. She said this time she's older. Some guy came in and started smacking. He said before she said 15 words, he was telling her how much he loved her and cared for her and would do anything she wanted. He said it was amazing. I said, well, she was a witch. She's the voodoo queen of New Orleans. She should know her stuff. And what's funny about this is there's much more bad people voodoo wise down there than her, but they never get mentioned. She's the one who always gets talked about.
Yeah,
And,
that's pretty interesting. That I'm glad you brought that up because people just think, oh, it's just Marie Laveau, and there's some people that are
yeah,
quite
there was
prolific
some
that
nasty
we never
people
really
down here.
talked about.
Well, they swear she knew where Jean Lafitte's treasure was. Because every now and then she would come up. Sometimes she'd be getting like almost broken. She'd come up with a piece of treasure from Jean Lafitte's treasure, nice, like a goblin of gold, something worth a lot of money, and they would sell it to make money. But no one ever threatened to go look for it. Most people were scared of her. Not everybody was scared of her. A lot of people were scared of her. But yeah, that's how she started making her customers, and as she got more and more famous, as for to doing spells for people. Apparently, she was good. See, from if you go by the official registry, 103 marriages give her credit for hooking them up.
Wow.
So I was kind of like, and everyone was done with a different kind of spell. A little piece of hair, some blood, some other stuff we're not going to get into because that's disgusting. I won't talk about it. But it was interesting to listen to. The lore is quite good, but when you get down in the city itself and you find the old timers, they'll tell you about people that make Marie Laveau look like a slice of chocolate cake, baby. There's some scary, hairy shit went on in the city, and some of the covens you hear in the old school. Because some people don't realize two of the covens that reside in this city were 300 years old. They've been here as the city burned, was back, burned, was back, burned back. They were originally here when they first came to the city. They were established. That's how old these covens are. And they had me down and go through. I know two of the girls. I wouldn't piss these people off for nothing. They're really nice, very polite. One's all female, one's all male. They're all nice people, got good careers. All of them are successful. Every one of them is successful. And I'm telling you what, when you look into your eyes, you know right then and there, you do not want to piss these people off. I don't care how good you are, you do not want to piss these people off. They look like they've got hand-me-down magic for 300 years. You just don't want to piss them off. It's like when I met Crowley's great-great-grandson. Some of the stuff he was telling me, and this is way back when I was young, some of the stuff he was telling me about was like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, it wasn't quite what everybody thought it was. And I was like, no, I guess it wasn't. And some of the things they did that never made the press, which amazes me because today's press would love it. I guess it was too risque back for the day. So, but I studied with him for a long time, and my wife studied with Yavin and Gavan because she was into that Wicca white magic crap. I gave her nothing but shit about. I said one day I'm gonna come eat all you white magic people. I used to give her crap all the time, but she studied with her for a long time. She was damn good at what she did. And then somewhere along the line, I realized I didn't need any of it. I was gifted and didn't need any of that crap to do what I wanted to do. So that's when my life changed. It's scary, though. Look at Sean's got this weird color coming out of his head. What is that?
What?
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Jenny's possessing you. I see what's going on.
No comment on that one.
He's not going to be. Because Jenny will whoop you, buddy. Don't be messing
Oh
with
my
her.
God, yeah.
It's too
Hey
funny.
Joe, I heard a story, and I'm not sure. Is there a town in Mississippi where a witch cursed it? Is that Mississippi?
Yeah, there's
And
supposed to be one in
destroyed the
Mississippi
town?
and Louisiana. Yeah, there's supposed to be one in each town. There's some serious witches lived down here back in the day. People in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, all of them had their share of what I would call Marie Laveau type killer witches. I mean, these people were serious. Every place had one. Every middle of every state had one. It was a strange thing. And I can't tell you if they were real or if it was just legend. Sometimes I know there was an accident in Mississippi where a lightning storm swept the city and hit like 60 buildings. 15 minutes later, a F5 tornado came through and leveled it. They said the only person who survived was the witch. And there was one woman who survived,
Mm-hmm.
a very attractive woman, very well-to-do woman. And they swore she was a witch, and she brought it down in the city. And when she asked, she never denied it. Not one time. But she never said, yeah, I did it either. So I don't know if it's true or not. That's the problem with those kind of stories. We just don't know if they're true or not. But I would imagine in the old days there were some pretty wicked witches around. Wicked might not be a right word because they weren't all evil. A lot of them were just a product of their environment. It's like Seraphina. She whips out a spell on somebody. It's not so much because she's an evil person. It's just she's a product of her environment. She knows how to use it. You just pissed her off. So it's the same thing with Michelle. Anyway, it's just the way it works. So I don't necessarily think they were all evil. I just think some of them were just people, and sometimes somebody pissed them off, and they found out they're the wrong kind of people to piss off. It's just the strange thing. But I'm gonna start with Michelle with this. So, if you could pick one person out of the past to study with, who would it be?
If I could what?
If you could pick one person out of the past to study with, it could be witchcraft, it could be anything for that matter.
Aleister Crowley.
Oh, Crowley, yeah, Crowley. He
I
liked
would
that
have.
witch.
He was brilliant. Everybody, more so than people realize.
Yeah, and he didn't use as much sex magic as they said, but still, he did use a lot, but not as much as they said. Michael, you awake?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Michael, what is that?
This-
Is that Skeletor on your face,
Just-
man? That's who that looks
That's
like.
me, man. That's my face.
Looks like Skeletor to me, man. If anybody don't know who Skeletor, well, I'm not going to get in it. So, if you could pick one person to study with from the past, who would it be? It could be anybody. Who would it be?
You mean study like magic,
Yeah,
study
yeah,
martial arts,
No, not
study how
martial
to
arts, because I'd
cook?
have to go study with Bruce Lee if it was martial arts. But no, I'm just talking about, in the arts we're talking about and the things we're talking about, who would it be?
I would go for the most sinister, wickedest witch that you could find on the planet, most powerful, incredible, and unknown to most people, Hillary Clinton.
Oh,
100%.
oh my
Oh, that
God.
was a big call right
She-
there. Sorry.
She is
God.
the assassin.
Oh,
She's
shit,
the
man.
witch. She is all powerful.
Yeah, she's the witch queen of the United States. Oh my God.
Low key
I-
as a witch, very high profile otherwise.
Oh my God, Sean, who would you go after? Don't tell me Hillary Clinton.
No. Dr. Hans Holzer?
Wait, say that again.
Holzer? Dr.
Hans Holzer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd like to learn from him.
Say
I
that,
mean,
what? Anybody particularly you'd want to study under or with? No, maybe.
Oh, it would have to be, of course, Crowley.
Oh yes, that's three of us that would do with Crowley. That's a shame. It's Crowley was interested in if his grandson, if what I learned from him was what even a third of what Crowley knew, man, this dude knew some shit. Um, his son was very gifted. I mean, his great grandson was very, very gifted. And matter of fact, all the great grandkids seem to be very gifted. And you know what? I remember talking to him one day, and he was like, it came natural to him. They didn't have to study as much as a lot of people do. It seemed to come natural. A lot of what they did, maybe it was because of. And I didn't realize his lineage was as big as it was until I started looking into it. I was kind of, well, this is interesting. He was definitely into sex magic, but he was definitely in a lot of other kind of magics. And he used, first thing I asked him was I said, what kind? He said, use both. He said, well, we would consider dark and light. He said he didn't consider all. He considered magic to be magic. There was no dark and light. It was just in your intentions, which was actually the perfect answer because I agree with that. It is all about your intentions, how you use the magic. So, and he said it's not that he couldn't use it to do dark things. He could. He said, but he learned for his wealth and health and stuff like that. He could just use it for that, and it wasn't really hurting anybody, and it was helping him gain stuff. And the family is well off. I mean, not super well off, but very comfortable. So. And he was told from his great grandfather that doing magic was fine, but to do it in such a way that it didn't draw attention to the family, which is exactly how they do it. As far
Why
as
did he get a bad name?
because of the time he was around, he was first off he used to give these wicked sex parties like with 150 people, and he used it to draw energy from the people in there. So. That didn't help him much. And then there was a couple of people who thought he was really, really dark because he could achieve at a rate that other people couldn't, and they thought it was just some evil he was doing when it actually wasn't. I went back and studied because I really wanted to know what evil acts did Crowley commit to get the reputation that Crowley's got. You can't really find any. There's not really anything that he did that you would consider to be horrible in today's society. As far as I know, he wasn't a pedophile. He didn't go around chopping people up and eating them and shit like that. He wasn't even using them. He didn't even believe in ritual sacrifice like most witches do. So it was a different kind of thing. When he talked about ritual sacrifice, it was always using the sperm and from the women and mixing it together, and that was what they used for a sacrifice. He said because it contained all of human in it, so there was no need to kill a human for it. So that was very interesting when I learned that. It was a little different than what I thought it was, but It was still strange that he went that far. And he said there's so many things that make up our body that can be controlled to do so many other things with. He believed in control of your body, control of your mind, control of your spirit. He said if you can control them three things, you can live longer, you can be healthier, and you can really achieve what you wanted. And let's look at him. If you look around, he was a Renaissance man. He did all kind of shit. He kind of reminds me of L. Ron Hubbard in the fact that the many hats he wore through his life. So it's an interesting thing. And no, I'm not John Scientology, whoever wrote that. No. Why the hell? I thought I closed that one. I'm going to close your ass again. Watch this. Yeah, when it pops up, my messenger pops up every time somebody dings me. I just got the dinger off. I don't know. It's a strange thing to live in this world, and because so much of what we want to do or what we want to believe or be part of is considered either nonsense or bad to look at or bad to be involved with. When we talk about haunted things, when you look at the paranormal, ufology, whatever, you can all loop it into one world. We're still not a majority of anything on the planet. We're still a minority. Even though I know a lot of people, doctors, lawyers, and stuff like that, that really want to get into this stuff, they're scared because it may hurt their careers, it may hurt their image, it may hurt whatever it is, so they stay away from it, which hurts all of us because they may come up with some insight that we missed on. Somebody said, well, do you need a formal education to get into research? I said, no, you don't. I said, but the better education you have, the better the research is going to be. I said, or the more you'll understand how research actually works. I don't know. I think that I think we lost a lot with Crowley. That could have been spread out across a lot more people, but he's got a bad reputation. So, but when you go look him up, it's not. Matter of fact, I caught a movie on him the other day. They didn't talk bad about him. They just talked about who he was, and so it's a strange thing. But still, he was easy to pick on. He was a modern day witch or warlock, whatever the hell you want to call him. So it was easy to pick on him. He was into witchcraft. But today, somebody asked me the other day. He said, "Guy said, were you a witch?" I said, "No, I'm a person. Why?" And he said, "Well, can't guys be witches?" I said, "Guys can be whatever the hell they want." I said, "That's not the point." I said, "We don't need labels anymore to understand our abilities." I said, "Y'all should understand that ahead of time." I said, by not labeling ourselves, we get to use our abilities without criticisms. That's like if Sarah walked around, had this weird big witch hat on and all this stuff, and these creepy fingernails coming out and stuff like that. And she said, "Well, I'm a witch." And of course, people would look at her like, "Get back, biatch. You're not a witch, you're a biatch. Get back." But you see, she doesn't. So, and for all of us, we can't. Still in this day, you cannot wear what you are on your sleeve. I mean, as far as who we are as a people, yeah, but as far as what we know and understand and want to be involved with, I don't know. I know I can't. If I wear a sleeve, it's going to cost me money. I can't speak for the rest of y'all, but I know for a fact it would be like if Sarah and Michelle and you started talking politics, you'd lose half your audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing for me. If
It's one of my golden rules. Don't do it.
If I start talking about what I do with the research I do here, it costs me money. People are like, "Well, you believe in aliens, man. Oh my God, get the bug." When I've had Michio Kaku, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Paula Bett on my show saying, yeah, aliens probably do exist, and it's a good chance of visiting our planet. But still, if I talk about it, it hurts me financially wise. If y'all talk about politics, it hurts y'all's listener wise. It's a bitch that none of us here in this group can express ourselves in the way we want to.
It's all the freaking Catholic Church, dude. They don't want you to know anything. They don't want you to. They want to be obedient. If you look against them, man, they want to destroy you. Ha ha!
Well, looking at this group, I don't think we
Christians to a
fall
lesser
under
degree, man.
obedient. Seraphine, are you obedient? Fuck, no, I can look at her and tell you she's not obedient. I know Sean, I know Michelle. It's just,
They want your money. They want your soul.
We're the kind of people that the Pope sits up at night and goes, "How can I recruit them? How can I recruit them?" We're thinking, you can't. In time's coming, we're still not believing your ass, buddy. That's funny.
Seraphine, there's a Joshua Murphy asked you a question.
What he said? I got the screen on full, so I can't see.
Is there a witch that is still alive today that you would like to meet?
I haven't met Lori Cabot. I haven't met. There's like 5 of them that I'd like to actually meet. They're pretty powerful, yeah, influential.
There you go.
Did you get that, Joshua?
Yeah, Josh, I think you heard you.
Are they real? Yep.
I couldn't. I don't know nobody I could say that I could say on the air though. Damn.
Yeah, that's why I'm only listing the one that's really prominent and lives her life out loud.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
made a
yeah.
career out of it.
I don't think I could
Bless
say
her.
it. Oh well.
Yeah, a
It's,
lot of them are low key, man.
Hmm.
well, you kind of have to be in today's society. You never know what kind of repercussions they're going to be
They
for.
write books and whatever. My friend Jarena, I made friends with her years ago in New York City, man, the village. Jarena Dunwich, and she writes books, Candle Magic and all that, you know. But she's very low key. I mean, you don't really see her out there ever. You know?
Oh man, I'm glad you brought that up. So, I had a ball with these telekinesis people about 3 weeks ago. This was so much fun. So they're all doing this candle thing, like making a candle flicker. They got one candle making it flicker, doing this and doing that. And I said, "What are y'all doing?" I'm trying to prove our empathic ability. They said, "Well, that's not the way to do it." And they're going. I said, "No, no, let me show you." I said, "You take two candles, tapered candles, and put them about an inch and a half apart." I said, "The goal is to make those two flames twirl up together without moving, without or even hardly breathing. Just make them twirl together." I said, if y'all can do that, then you have empathic abilities. Making a candle move by itself when there's no. I said, man, you could be. Well, I got a man. This air could be going through the mask. I said, one candle just not going to do it. I said, unless you make it jump off this flame and jump back on, I'm not buying it. So I put it up there. So now they've been doing it. They've put up like 75 videos. Nobody's been able to do it yet. So I did one.
David
video.
Copperfield does that every day.
David Copperfield, he couldn't do it. He tried. He couldn't do it either. It's not an easy thing to do. It takes a pretty good amount of concentration, and you really got to have real empathic abilities to want them two flames to go. I even gave them a break. I said, put them an inch apart and do it like that. I said, because at least the heat's pulling each other towards them. I said, but still, to make them twirl and stay twirling is not an easy thing. And I tell people all the time, that's your first step to really understanding what your empathic abilities are about. I said, if you can do that, you can do other things and make other things move. I said, it's not easy. And I don't lie to people. All the things I learned, none of it was easy. And today I don't get to use as much about anything because there's too much stuff going on in my life. I don't get to have the kind of fun I used to be with that kind of stuff, like making Seraphine turn purple or making Michelle's hair green or making Sean bald. I just don't get to have that fun anymore. You
Do you
know?
have a death wish?
The death wish.
Careful with
I'm
the
going to wake up one day with a mohawk. What the hell did this come from?
I'll,
I can hear it now.
I'll haunt you into your next life. I swear it.
It's who's the bone guy? I can't ever remember this guy. He was always in the old days. They put him in the movies. He was always a black guy, and he always had like a skeleton suit on, a skeleton face. But there's a South American myth, and I can't remember who the hell it was. It was part of their myth. It's just bugging the hell out of me now. He wore a big tall cap. He had a thing on, and then he had bones all over. He was in a couple of Bond movies as well, but
The voodoo guy.
yeah, he was a voodoo guy. But there was actually a name
Yeah, but
for
he
him
was
in
like
South
New
America.
Orleans voodoo guy.
No, but the original thing came from South America, and I can't, or it might have been from Central America, but I can't remember what it was or who it was. We'll have to do some research and find out. I've just recently I seen a couple people dressing up like that for Halloween this year, and I was kind of like, I know that from somewhere. I don't know where I know that from, but somewhere. Do I have a haunted what? I don't have anything haunted. I'm just telling you, nothing in my house is haunted. If it is haunted, it's in the safe. It's in the haunted safe house. It's in the haunted safe. Yeah, it's the safest haunted. What can I tell you? No, I don't know. I go to a lot of haunted places in New Orleans, just like Seraphine goes a lot of places in St. Augustine. Have you been down to Miami? Somebody was telling me the strip in Miami's haunted. It's been so long since I've been to strip in Miami. God, it's got to be like, it feels like 100 years. It's been at least 30 for sure. And well, it's been a long time since I've been down to Miami Strip.
Well, I mean, many places can be haunted. It's not like one over the other.
Well, you got. Well, we know San Francisco's haunted because Nancy Pelosi's there. So
You want that heavy duty agony. You go to those places where there's great suffering. Not only that, but look at Gettysburg, where they get together and they constantly evoke and tease and provoke. Talk about provoking, man. Every time they put together those bullcrap battles, they're not honoring the dead. So I mean, no wonder why there's so much activity there. It's probably unwanted.
It's a lot of weirdness that goes on there.
What was it? 2-day battle, 3-day battle?
3.
3-day, yeah, it's 3-day battle. But a lot of people died there.
Skirmishes around the zone. I mean, a lot of people died.
53,000.
Yeah. Just like that.
It's a most of them when you get around those battlefields now are pretty much haunted. There's always something weird going on, or you get some kind of weird
Well, they
feeling.
constantly provoke.
Yeah, we see. I noticed some of them now. Some in the South now are national parks. You're not. They do allow paranormal teams to come in, but you are not allowed to provoke. It's actually a rule.
But like putting together the battle, the soldiers, north, south, and the fake guns and all the other stuff and all that crap that they do. I mean, you don't think that stirs up activity?
I'm sure it
Reenactments.
does. I'm sure it does. The reenactments probably do start.
Should be a memorial for the dead
But
and what had
so
happened.
out of all them people that died, how many stayed and how many crossed over? And how do we know how many stayed and how many crossed over?
True.
There's
But
enough.
you also got to see too that there's a ton of residual hunting up there. Tons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Jack. I would have to think the most haunted city in Florida is St. Augustine. Just like the most haunted city in Louisiana is New Orleans. Yeah, it's just because of the way they were established and when they were established. Well, yeah, I'm sure a lot more people died in Miami because Miami's I ain't gonna say that, but Miami's a nice city in southern Florida. Okay, before I get myself in any trouble. Uh, no, I don't want to live in Miami. I don't want to go to Miami. But yeah, there's a lot of hauntings in Miami too. It's just Miami's a different kind of city. Those hauntings are all snorting cocaine and shit. So, what was his name? What was his name? Oh God, come on, what's his name? The guy
Miami
with the
Vice.
no, not Miami Vice. The star. What's his name, man?
Don Johnson.
No, not Don Johnson. The guy who's just snorting cocaine, shooting up all the cops from the balcony.
Sugar Bear.
Oh man.
Oh, Patino.
Yeah, Al Pacino, man. When he's,
Yeah.
he's somebody from Miami. I wouldn't mind meeting. He was having a ball down there, but yeah, I mean, a lot of Miami was built on drugs. So you never know what you're gonna run into down there. It's been a while since I've been down there, though. I like to go to the Keys. It's been a while. Now you see that's some other places supposed to be haunted. The Lower Keys supposed to be haunted like hell and back. And but it's so far. Even if you live in Florida, the Keys is a nice little ride. But still, it's supposed to be pretty haunted down. And they say where what was the book writer? They said his house is pretty haunted too, where he used to live. And it says, but a lot of people swear the whole island is
Okay.
haunted. Yeah, him and Mike. It's they swear the whole island's haunted. So I wouldn't mind spending some time down there. Everybody I know who lives down there has got more money than God. So yeah, one of my customers keeps his yacht parked down there and some other stuff parked down there. One of my other
Super
customers keeps
touristy.
so yeah, it's a nice place to go though and visit. But it's like any golf. So it's like any Gulf Coast town. There're going to be hauntings there because of the sheer amount of people that died. Back in the day, it was a drop-off point for slaves and other stuff, pirates and shit. So no telling what's up in the area. All along the southern Gulf Coast, right on the edges, there's all kind of people died out there. They've been finding Spanish galleons lately. They've also been finding artwork and dishes and spoons from something pre-American. They don't know what it's from. It's before the Indians, so they don't know what the hell it is. They think it's part of that sunken city off the coast of Cuba, but nobody knows what the hell that is either. All they know is there's some pyramids down there, and all of a sudden nobody's allowed to go down there anymore. First, Canada and Cuba were doing a joint expedition, and the guy who was running is a friend of ours. He runs a yellow submarine. He's got this big yellow submarine. He takes some diving with down there, and he was a regular. We met him a long time ago. And he said, man, he sent me some good pictures, but he said all of a sudden they shut it down and wiped the web. You can barely find any photographs anymore on the sunken city off the coast of Cuba. Every now and then you can run across some SATCOM pictures of it or something, and you can clearly see it. It's in about 2,200 feet of water. You can clearly see it there. And it looks like a bowl. Sometime it must have been raised. Maybe it was a volcano caldera that collapsed or something at one time, but it's there. But the way everything sets, it doesn't look like it was a collapse. It looks like it was just a sink, something that the water just rushed in around it or something, because it looks like the city's still intact. And they say the big pyramid there, all the pyramids in Egypt could fit in. So this is something that predates the Egyptians and the Toltecs. You got to wonder what the hell it is, who the hell it was. They are the guys who taught both the Toltecs and the Egyptians how to build. Maybe they're the descendants of Atlantis. Maybe it's our original Martian ancestors. Who knows? And before anybody starts with me about the Martian ancestors people, I can't help it if we got a 24 and a quarter hour clock. I didn't make that. You got to talk to God about that. And since we only got a 23 and 3/4 hour day on Earth, you got to wonder what the hell's up. Yes, our biological clock does not meet the planet we live on. But it does meet the planet right next to us. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you should check into that. Apparently, it takes more than 60 million years of evolution to change that, too. Well, nobody knows how man got here. I hear all kind of bullshit stories all the time. And I hear about evolution all the time. And in some ways, evolution works great for us. In some ways, it just doesn't work for us. It looks like we had a helping hand or something along the way. Look how long it took the dolphin to evolve. 260 million years. But somehow or another, man managed to pull it off in 2 million years. Yeah, I'm just not buying it. I'm sorry. There's some bullshit going on around here. Even if you count our ape ancestry, we still evolved in less than 6 million years. Ooh, nothing else on the planet did. Everything else on the planet had to bake for a long time before it became what it is. So don't ask me. I have not a clue. Just 4 and 4 is not making 8 is all I can tell you. Something be screwy with our evolution theory. All right, I'll ask everybody. So there's a personal question for everybody. This came in from a guest earlier tonight. So how do you believe we came to be on this planet? So it's always the same 3 things. It's panspermia, which means building blocks of life were brought here and delivered and we evolved naturally. Of course, there's God, and of course, there's extraterrestrials. So, I always have a hard time with this because for me, God created the universe and the universe took it from that point. So I can rule out God directly creating us. I can give him, her, she, it, whatever it was, credit for designing the universe. But since we watch the universe create and destroy planets every day, I have to think that the universe created us. So that's panspermia to a point. But what brought man to where man is today? If you go by the Toltec text, the Egyptians and the Dogon and the Mormons and the Scientologists and the Muslims, we were put here by an extraterrestrial. If you go by everybody else, we were put here by God. So, and I couldn't even tell you if God and ET was the same thing. If you go back to the biblical times when Jesus was walking the planet and creating miracles, yeah, when I first heard the late great planet Earth, we could maybe do about 20% of those miracles. Today, we can do 80%. In 100 years, we'll be able to do all of them. So then, therefore, they're not miracles anymore, are they? If man can reproduce them, then they're not miracles. So then you have to stop and think, was this actually God or was this some other extraterrestrial who stopped by and said, hey, this might be an easy way to unite the planet? And it looked like it was going to work for a while, but then they left man in control, and here we are today. So I don't know. I'll leave that up to y'all guys, whoever y'all personally believe. That's what I say. I got lots of friends who are hardcore and that God put us here. I got lots of friends that are hardcore that technology put us here, that some type of evolution put us here, and a lot that just think it was sheer freaking luck. I don't know. I don't think they're going to answer you, Bubby. I'm sorry. I think they're looking at you like, no, we're not going there. Look, what do you mean personally? What do you mean? Do I believe in a supreme creator? Is that what you asked me? Yes, I do. I believe there is an intelligence design behind the universe. I have no doubt about that. Now, is it God in the way we were taught it's God? I have no idea. I can't answer that because I don't know. Well, Seraphine could be the Godhead. Look at her. She looks like she's about to fire lightning in your ass right now for asking.
Yeah, look at the eyes. Oh my God!
You gotta watch when Michelle's looking down. You never know what she kind of got those Thor things coming out the side of her face. You never know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
I just do it with a smile. Never stop smiling.
Now, why don't you ask him about horn stuff? I don't want to. No, we don't talk about God on this network often because it always ends up into an argument. Because there's too many layers that you can do it on. Matter of fact, I was on Chasing Prophecy when Jenny said, Jenny, don't do it while I'm here because I'm going to talk about it. It's there's too many layers to this, man. It's just too many ways you can go with this. And when you have a multitude of hosts that we have, it's just no, you can't do it.
Mm-mm. No.
What do you mean, Michael? Oh, Michael could be a demon. Yes, he could be. Yes. Good. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while, but last time I seen him, his eyes were kind of glowing a little red. Yes.
Wow.
I don't know what to tell you about that.
It was the vaccine.
Stephanie's
Gave me
like, whatever.
superpowers.
Stephanie says, Sarah, please show something haunted so they'll shut up.
Hey, listen, everyone, I got to go. I got to be up at 4 in the morning. So have a
Yeah,
good night. Happy
Night.
Halloween. It
Me
was nice
too.
meeting you all.
I got
send
Happy
out,
dogs to
Halloween.
Bye bye.
feed. Early morning. Bye, Sean.
Bye bye.
Beware.
I gotta send out some
All right.
invites
Love you
again
guys. Ciao,
for
ciao.
Yeah.
Beware.
Bye.
Bye.
what do you mean haunted? Yeah, I'm sure there's hauntings in Oklahoma. I'm sure there's hauntings everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure there's hauntings all over the
You think
place.
the moon is haunted?
Hey, that's a good question. I don't know what's on the
So
moon
why would the moon ring like a bell for half an hour
because
when
it's
they
hollow.
when they smashed the lander into it and they kept it a secret for over 40 years? I mean,
'Cause
why would it ring for half an hour like a bell?
obviously there's some hollow points in it somewhere.
Obviously, the goddamn thing is hollow.
It's hollow somewhere. Well, it don't mean the whole moon's hollow, but it means
That
where
to me is
that's where
more
it's hollow.
interesting. Well, they also say because the craters are so shallow on the moon,
There are a lot of shallow craters on there.
and it's in a perfect orbit with the Earth. It's not unlike any other moon anywhere. You never find that.
It's our whole moon thing is weird. Even though it is moving away from the Earth 2 inches every year, so eventually it'll be gone.
Well, they can't prove where it came from. The scientists are baffled of why it's
Well,
even there.
well, they really do think it was something that smashed into us because something about the craters on the north side of the moon match the depth peaks in the Pacific Ocean. So they're pretty sure they know that chunk at least was part of the Earth at one point and it broke apart.
Maybe
So,
somebody
so
was playing pool with the planets.
but I don't
They
know.
kind of
Other than
gave up.
that, well, and they said it actually increased the volume of Earth by half. So we were about the size of Mars when this happened.
Can you imagine the moon bumping the Earth? I wouldn't want to be around for that.
Back then it didn't matter anyway. It's just a big lump of
I'd be on
molten
the other
stuff.
side. I'd bump me off into space
I
like a
wouldn't
flea
know.
off a dog.
I tell you what, I wouldn't know what it would do. It would be weird. But I've heard many arguments about the moon. I do agree with the guy who mapped both the mountain crater and the ocean bottom. It does map out to be the same. So I agree. Probably it hit us, and then eventually it was a bubble and popped off. It made. But man, it is interesting how smooth the moon is, how close to orbit it is, how weird of a moon it is compared to all the other ones. A lot of people think it was sent here on purpose, but there's no way to prove that.
It's like a
Yeah.
satellite, man. You know what I mean? You know what?
It's an
Look at
important satellite for us. It controls our tides.
all the
Without tides,
information
we
they
can't
gave out
exist.
about on the dark side of the moon and all the stuff that's there. You know, and yeah, we can't see it. And then anytime we have a satellite that goes around there, they're like sworn to secrecy.
Well, one thing, if once it moves out far enough, we won't have any more hurricanes. We won't have any more tidal actions. We won't have any more water moving around the planet. We'll all die from starvation.
Who's that dumbass from Texas, that Republican Senator Gomer, who's asking the Park Service if they could change the orbit of the moon to help the Earth?
Well, there's a lot of things we've been talking about shielding the Earth. Actually, Joshua, it
They
depends
could
who you
change
want
the
to believe.
orbit. God damn it.
Modern man, Cro-Magnon man, modern man is 2 million years old, and they believe that we bred out the Neanderthal and several other versions of man. Actually, now they think there were 6 or 7 versions of man, and Cro-Magnon bred them all out of existence, and we carry all their genes and stuff.
Gotta break a lot of eggs, man.
But they
when
do
they
think that there's 2 separate species on the planet today. There's a South American species that's different from the rest of us. Its brain shaped differently, its head shaped differently. It's a little different. So originally, they thought they were just ancestors of the Aztecs who used to board their children's head to make them look like their gods. But they found that this was actually a separate tribe. So, I don't know. It's hard to say, man. But if you go with the standard definition, it's 2 million. If you want to go from when we
No,
evolved,
there are people that know. You got to listen to the Navajo. You know what? You got to listen to their stories, man, from their ancient people. They tell it like it is. They describe people like they were the ant people, how the ant people saved their culture. Everything was all green and plush until whatever happened, and then they all went to one place. They heard a song in their head. All these different tribes gathered in one place, and they thought they went underground.
Sarah's down there and Abduction Central down there. That whole
I
middle
love
part
those
is
stories,
great.
man. Those stories are real to me. It's not made up, to sell some books or whatever. They're just stories that are told from generations.
Well, that has more to do with distance than it does anything else, but still, it is interesting.
I like
There's
the
a lot of
Henty.
stuff. Well, there's a lot
When
of stuff in
The
the
Hopi
ancient.
Indian were using chicken bones as tools at that point, and these ant people taught them all kinds of stonework and things. I mean, pretty amazing. I don't know. I like it.
Well, there does seem to be different groups on our planet who had advanced knowledge about things that we didn't know.
All right, dude. Caco Canyon, right in New Mexico, was where all this, a lot of this came about, and then also just north of there, there's the Aztec developments, man. So you have a connection between Aztecs and those Indians at Caco Canyon, and it wasn't just one type of tribe either. They all came together there. And look at if you look from aerial pictures of what they developed, it looks like something you could just park a UFO right on top of, man. I mean, it's almost perfect. There's no reason for them to have
There are
created
several
those
places
shapes.
in the deserts in America and South America that look like they could be some type of landing place. And you got to wonder about the Nazcans, especially. I mean, the only way you can see their artwork is from up in the air, and you got to be pretty high up, 10 or 15,000 feet. If you're in a helicopter, you actually be kind of high to see it all. So there's no way they were getting up there unless somebody was giving them a ride. They didn't remember they didn't have air balloons or nothing back then. So
Or
at
they were
least not that
making
we know
pictures
of.
to try to talk to somebody up there or appeal to someone. You know, maybe the connection, they wanted to have more of a
But
connection or
it
more
would
about.
take it would take a pretty good mind, a pretty high IQ, to work those pictographs out the way they were designed without being this to see them from above. I mean, it really would. That's even science today. We'd have a hard time with. That's not really easy science. It actually take a pretty good engineer, pretty good
Those
math.
Native
How
Americans
you
didn't
doing?
have any predetermination of fear and sin or things like that. They just took things at face value, you know, unless there was something that could hurt them or destroy them, right? You know, other people they wouldn't be able to rationalize alien life because other things come into play. You know, things that they were taught or shoved down their throats. You know, I've seen it, man.
There's a lot of weirdness out there. There's a lot of people believe in aliens. A lot of people believe in God. A lot of people believe in
God's such a general term.
well, it can be. And what gets me in trouble with God all the time is I said, I'll always have my dog in my arms when I say this. I said, well, this is God. And they're like, ooh, you're going to burn. I said, no. I said, what does God spell backwards? Dog. I said, what does dog spell backwards? God. I said, y'all didn't know God made itself manifest by being a dog and a plan to keep an eye on all y'all. See who treats their animals right and who don't. That's how you know if you're going to burn in hell or not, people. If you've been mean to your animals,
So
you
humans
burn.
get
If you've
to
been nice,
suffer this crap hell for God's will, right? Because of whatever. I'm not buying it, man.
oh, I don't think even if there's not never super being, I don't think he sure it pays that much attention to what's going on the planet. At least not now that aspect.
Well, I got to bounce. I got to walk my dog.
Be good, be good, be good.
Good
Happy
night, guys.
Halloween.
Stay out of trouble.
Be safe, guys.
Happy
Tell the
Halloween.
dog I said we love him.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here too. I'm tired, man.
Oh, you old bastard.
Just working too much. That's all. Getting there though.
Yeah, I know. I know. I got to be up early in the morning myself. It's well, I think
It was fun though to come on and talk with everybody, man.
yeah, well, I think the other one's going to come on and take over at 9 or 10 or something. I know Laura Lee and all them said they were doing it after 9 or something. So I told them they were more than welcome to do whatever they want to do.
10:22 right now.
Yeah, it's 9:22.
Eastern.
It's not, but there's been a lot of weird stuff going on lately. It's just COVID keeps pushing it all out of the way. Maybe we'll do a show on the stuff that's coming out that for some reason isn't making the front pages or making the lines, and even the space stuff. I mean, you got all these billionaires doing the space stuff, and it's barely making press.
Yeah, I know, right?
We want to watch the news tell us about how great Joe Biden is, and we're like, really? Anytime I hear CNN or CNN or NBC do this, I'm thinking, you just went down 5 points in everybody's rating when you said that, right?
Well, now they've got the climate thing going on. What a G2, whatever.
Yeah,
G
well,
whatever.
he didn't get no agreement. The Congress told him on itself. So
Yep.
I don't know how to. And then I seen your girlfriend over there, Greta Thorne.
Ugh.
Yes, I'm not even
Greta
touching that
Thorne.
one.
You know they're funny, man. They keep trying to paint her like she's like this little girl. Isn't she like 21 already now?
Well, I heard one of the podcasters just yesterday say, "Well, she's fair game now. She's not a teenager anymore."
Ugh.
And so what's going to happen is that she's going to feel the wrath of the press.
It's like retarded or something.
I don't know, but they don't. They know the press isn't going to give a shit. They're
I'm
just going to
saying
go after.
she's. I think they just use her. You know.
The gray zone
She
comes
doesn't even
back.
know what she's doing, man. They just
Yeah,
use her. You know.
yeah, they do just use it. The gray zone comes back this Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Yeah, yesterday I did a show, but I had the good ones on, and we were talking about what happened at. Well, we were talking about what happened at the whatchamacallit, the Writers of the Future Awards. Yeah. By the way, a lot of those videos I did with those young people and older people who won are up there. They're pretty good videos too. It's interesting to hear these people talk about what kind of experience they had. It was a lot of fun, and I will be back out there in April. So anybody out in LA, keep that in mind. I'll be torching you. Oh, I was going to play some EVPs. I got a bunch queued up, but I don't know if I'm going to now or not. Yeah, no, I got a bunch of them queued up. Oh yeah, I do. Well, I might play some in a few minutes. They're queued up. I don't have to go anywhere right at the moment, but I might just play them while they're queued up. It's well, I don't even know if I believe in EVPs or not.
Don't play them.
Yeah, well, no, I don't mind playing them, but I'm just not sure. Like this one, hold on, let me click it up. It's already set up, so let me click it. So let's see where the hell's the play button at. Oh hell, where's it at? Okay, I lost the whole EVP thingy now. Somewhere around here is one of these things I can push the button on. There it is. Oh no, that's me, so I can't push the button there. Well, guys, you might not get to hear it because apparently I lost whatever page it was on. It wasn't on that page. Was it on that page? I got so many pages open, I can't remember where the hell I put it at. I was paying bills earlier, which is always so much fun to do. Okay, maybe it's on this page, maybe it's on this page. See, these are all EVPs right here. Maybe I'll just have to open up a different one and do it like that. But oh, here it is. I have no idea what this is saying, people. I got a bunch that they tell you what's saying ahead of time.
Isn't that one of those things?
Yeah, it's one of those boxes. Ghost boxes, is that what they call them? I am an alien. Run, people. This is the alien from Alpha Centauri. I'm coming for you freaking weirdos. See,
All right,
that's
well, I'm
giving me a
getting out of
headache.
here, man.
Yeah, go on, baby, 'cause that's giving me a headache. Yeah, I'm gonna play through a couple of these right quick.
I can't listen to this crap.
Yeah, I know it's giving me a headache.
I'm too tired. It's giving me a headache, man. Hey, I'll see you, man. I'll
All right,
see
be
you
good, Saturday,
Tuesday.
Yeah, wait, tomorrow actually. All right, be good, be good, be good.
All right, man. Happy Halloween, brother.
You too. Stay out of trouble, baby.
Bye, everybody out.
Bye. All right, let me see. Can I play these? Let's see. Share screen, Chrome tab. Wait, what's this one? Let's do this one right quick. That don't sound like no damn EVP to me. No, don't sound like no EVPs to me. We getting rid of that. Get out of here, people. Let's see. Let's try a different one. Share screen, Chrome tab. No, we don't care about that one. Let's do this one. Okay.
Well, Tony, you want to give our introduction, or who wants to give our introduction this time?
The last one said bye. This one says crap.
Call you by name on the recorders. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Call you by name on the recorders. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Do you know who the president is?
My stomach?
That's not the right answer, Ron.
Do you know who the president is?
My stomach?
That's not the right answer, Ron.
I'm getting a whiff of cologne or perfume or something every once in a while.
I don't smell anything.
Are you smelling it right now?
Yeah.
Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Whoa. Let's get rid of this one. Let's see what this one is. Actually, I got a couple in the on the. Let's see.
Can you tell us how old you are? I'm gonna be quiet for 20 seconds. Please talk to me.
Let's see. Let's start over. So that one said interested, and this one says ye. This one says I'm dead. This one says go now. This one says interesting.
I'm gonna be quiet for 20 seconds. Please talk to me.
This one says please.
Someone's screaming at us. We need our attention. Are you injured? Please. I'm gonna be quiet for 20 seconds. Please talk to me. Are you a child? Are you a child?
It says no. This one says look south. This one says gotcha.
It's really cold. My right leg's really cold.
That one said that's the blood.
Do you have a message for any of us? Hmm? Do you like us being here?
Are you injured? Can we help you? What's your name? Are you? How old are you?
That one says 25 and 30.
I heard something.
Shot.
Did you get shot?
The north on the hill? Are you from the north or the south?
That one said the north. This one says the south.
Where are you from?
reporting would send chills down your spine.
We're here to do something today that you might find a little strange.
Greg Brammer and Melissa Elliott visit cemeteries to speak with the dead.
Say anything you like, anything whatsoever.
Or rather, to let the dead speak to them.
Like I told you, we're out here today to actually try to hear your voice, hear you speak to us.
Armed with a basic tape recorder, Greg and his friend Melissa have reported 500 voices in the past 2 years. Voices they believe come from the afterlife.
We had no idea who Caleb was or why he wasn't with her. Kind of saddening because she kind of sounds heartbroken. Felt like maybe this was a young man that was proud of his military service. That was the message that he wanted to give.
Brammer uses computer software to isolate the voices and block out any white.
Believers of EVP are the first to admit voices.
Ed's what sounds like a baby crying.
What you doing? She's with me. It's a demon. It's a demon. Oh, demon is. I will come for you. Tell them I will be there for you. Yep, I guess it's now.